I'm pressing it.
Yeah.
And we're live and welcome, you beautiful bastards, to our so-called show. And tonight we're going to be doing the very impossible task of selecting our top 5 Red Dwarf episodes, which I would have said maybe 10 or 20, but we'd be here all fucking night. So we have to maybe take the much more challenging task of condensing it down to 5. But we will probably do a much more in-depth stream on each season of Red Dwarf one day, so I can really talk about each episode a little bit more individually and talk about what's great about it, what's bad about it, but that'll be for another time. So for now, our top 5 Red Dwarf episodes, and I am joined here once again by Admiral Teague. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back. It's a pleasure to be here, and hello to everyone else, and hello to all you around the world and out there in internet land.
Yeah, that's the good thing about these Saturday ones. I can go a little later and get on the people that couldn't make it because of fucking time zones. So yeah, and next up, and one of my regulars, Critical. How you doing, man?
You alright, Smegheads? I'm a good mate. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite fucking TV programs, one of my favourite comedies, one of my favourite, just anything in entertainment media. This is one of my favourites. And yeah, Fandad Menace is, or is it the real Fandad, or is it just an alternate version called Ace Dad?
Don't be a clipper.
How you doing, man?
Tickety boo, up, the ziggurat, lickety split. Yeah, very good. I'm very pleased to be here. I've got about an hour or an hour and a half, I think. But yeah,
I'll get us through 2 episodes at least. That's fine.
Yeah.
I know we're not.
It's an impossible task that you've set us, Mr. Bastard. So
you got like a good challenge though sometimes, and yeah, I was struggling a little bit to look for 5 episodes because that means I'm gonna have to not mention another and leave another out that I really like, and oh god, but yeah,
should have been the top 5 seasons. That would have been easier.
Yeah, that would have been
Well, a 12-hour stream would have done the trick. But yeah, here we are.
We'll see what we can do.
This was a really fun assignment. Miami Vice was fun, and like that was like a whole experience that took me back. This one though, I mean, we did get a little bit of Red Dwarf right away here, at least in my New York area of America, but like it was in fits and starts. So I've seen like 6 episodes of Red Dwarf coming into this, and it had no cohesion. I'm like, okay, so there's a cat now that's human. You know, we didn't get the chronological nature, so it was fun to watch. Thank you.
Have you ever seen the American Red Dwarf?
Oh God, that sounds pretty bad.
It was horrendous.
Yeah,
I'm not saying any more than that. It was awful.
Yeah,
you guys have. This show has a facet. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah,
this show has a fascination with Americans. There's like a half American cast.
Yeah.
I always found that weird. Why does oh sorry, what was you going to say, Fandad?
No, I'm just saying. You said it's got like an American cast, but they're all British. Like Robert Llewellyn's British, and so is Danny John Jules, who plays.
Yeah, he's not American, by the way. I mean,
Brighton is Llewellyn, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, when I saw his name, I'm like, that is such a British name. I believe the Q is Desmond Llewellyn. I'm like, that guy's American accent is so on point and so right. The only thing that really differentiates it is there might be no part of America where people sound just like that, but it was very consistent.
It took me a little while to work out the accent as well.
It was meant to be a funny little accent, like not American, not quite Swedish, just a little jumbling of the accents as well to make the characters sound a bit more distinct. And yet the guy who plays Cat is actually fucking British in real life. He has a short little scene in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels where he talks about the gangster with the afro lighting that guy on fire. It's he was originally a dancer before he did this. He was just I know, and the guy who played Lister wasn't even an actor. He was like this punk poet, and you should watch his stuff from the 80s as well. It's very visceral.
Yep. And Chris Barry was a voice impersonator.
Oh yeah, he did. You should check out his spitting image.
Really good.
Is the captain?
Chris Barry. He was brilliant.
We see him once or twice, but is the captain American? He was really consistent.
American, yeah.
Yeah, he sounded New Jersey.
He was in Aliens, wasn't he? He was.
He was in Aliens.
Yeah, he's
I
in the
think
Fifth
so.
Element as well. He's the one of the police officers who has way too many fucking McDonald's knocked out of him by Bruce Willis.
Excellent.
Zeke?
No, I just no, you answered my question. I figured the captain was definitely an American. My hat's off to Cat. Cat's accent is a perfect comical Southern American accent, sort of from like the Big Easy New Orleans area. I compliment him for being so consistent in that. A lot of other people you could tell.
I think Daniel John-Jules is the oldest of the lot, to be honest. I think he's well past 60 now. Well past 60. So they're making another one. There's more Red Dwarf coming our way.
Yeah, no, they're still
I'm
going.
interested.
They had a very long hiatus from.
Yeah, they're moving forward with it, because the last thing I read about that was that there was no money. That they said that they couldn't get the money together to make another season.
Last I heard, Dave were financing it. They're paying for it, and they're doing 2 more seasons. I mean, they've got to tap out eventually, but
yeah,
based on what we've got, it's been about. There's only been, in my opinion, one really, really bad season, if you want to call it that, of Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
That was Back to Earth. That was awesome.
Fucking diarrhea.
Yeah, so they went too hard to be a bit serious, but then they got like slapstick going on, and they got the whole it's
it didn't work. It didn't work. But other than that, I felt that even some of the more like the Promised Land, was it? There was some good stuff in it.
The latest series did start to sort of like seem like it was delving into some good ideas as well. It did kind of feel like it lacked the magic of the earlier seasons, maybe because they're getting a bit older now. And
they are, aren't they? They're just they're a lot older now, and B, there's only so many times you can take this formula and do it. You know, Blackadder was smart. Blackadder did something a bit different each time round, dropped out after 4. It's done. Red Dwarf sometimes maybe stretches it a little bit. But I mean, honestly, even in some of the later seasons, there's been episodes that have been absolute gems. Do you remember the one where it was they were on a ship or a station where it was illegal to be offensive?
Oh, it had Johnny Vegas in it, didn't
Vegas running around in a pink uniform, exactly. Yeah. And I was like, my God, it's actually almost like a valid piece of social commentary even today. Like, you know, Red Dwarf can do that, and long may they continue.
The parallel universe might have pulled off some valid social commentary because they gender swap themselves and then they go fuck themselves, which was great. Which was great.
Yeah, Dave Lister fucking gets drunk and shags his own like female self.
And he has no interest. Neither one of him has interest in the other. It's just they're such bad drunks. They end up having sex. I love it.
She was his girlfriend at the time as well, back then, the female Lister.
That's eerie because she looks a little too much like him. That's like, could you imagine that pickup line? I think you're rather attractive. You remind me of myself.
It's better than the worm do line, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, God, fucking it. Female Rimmer has it going on. She does. I don't know. Yeah, she's a right rapist there, and she's like,
she's a fucking beast, isn't she? She's a fucking #MeToo special.
I know. I have gotten rid of the fruit word for it to say she andored him. Everyone now knows what it means, and they deserve the shame.
Yeah.
My God.
You can really tell season 2 is starting to sort of like find its way a little bit and start to delve into some more ideas. And season 3, 4, 5, and 6 are probably quality fucking writing on Red Dwarf. But I
think every season has got really good episodes. Every season has got really good episodes.
Yeah, even season 7. I like the Ace Rimmer episode. I did like the JFK episode. I thought that was a very good idea where JFK has to ride himself.
There's extended versions of those episodes as well, because that was when they went back and redid, because they were doing like the CGI type effects and they never quite worked. They moved away from models into the CGI, and unfortunately it's that really cheap Babylon 5 shit CGI. So they went back and redid a load of them with extended episodes. So I remember that. But yeah, I mean, they've always managed to knock out fairly good stuff, but everybody will say that 7's a dip. And then again, for me, Back to Earth was just a waste of time. That's just crap. That's the only Red Dwarf I don't own. That's the only Red Dwarf.
You guys mentioned something I didn't know, but maybe I don't know if you guys knew this one, but the whole JFK self-assassination thing is the rejected script for Star Trek 2 that got Gene Roddenberry run out of the movie side of Star Trek. They absolutely lost their mind. They're like, wait, what? You're going to stop the JFK assassination and have Spock go back and do it? And they were just like, you have to just start a new TV show. We're going to get some movie people on the movie end of this. And I love Gene Roddenberry, but that is a batshit idea. So I think what happened was these guys are true sci-fi fans. The show runs the gamut from what I'd call the bottle episodes where they just do slapstick humor based on their own show. And then every once in a while they'll get adventurous and they'll do something satirical. But damn, when they do it good. Like Future Echoes is every fun time travel trope and weird thing. And they just kind of mock it and have fun with it.
Yeah.
I think this show, it's very aware of how much it has to do. 2 or 3 of the 6 episodes per season, if I have it right, are always kind of internal, and then 2 or 3 of them are like satirizing other sci-fi, current sci-fi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Because I mean, you got things like Polymorph, which is obviously satirizing Alien and things like that. So, or even other 80s sci-fi movies that were similar.
Yeah. I kind of thought it was kind of mocking The Thing a little bit as well, because
The Thing,
and it can take away qualities as well, like negative emotions, like your fear, your guilt, and something like that. And it kind
Dark Star, it was a little bit Dark Star. I mean, Dark Star is very Red Dwarf like in the first place, very Red Dwarf like. I think Dark Star came first, 1982 for Dark Star, or before that even maybe.
Yeah, is it me or is season 5 probably the darkest of all the Red Dwarfs? Because there's some stuff that makes it go more into the horror element, especially
Demons and Angels, man. Demons and Angels is a brutal episode.
Yeah. That means
SNN.
The best day is probably the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Matrix Rimmer, Jesus Christ.
Demon, that's the one where they have the triplicator, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, you got one version that's the best of something and one version that's the worst of something.
Very good, yeah.
So they go over to the good side of the Red Dwarf, and it's all angels and singing and everything like that. And oh, hello, brother. Oh, I appear to forgive me, brother. I appear to have fallen on thy knife.
Yeah. Then we got the other one. It's
yeah, exactly. Yeah. makes Lister eat a tarantula.
Yeah, it really goes into full on dark humor that episode.
It was like the Inquisitor and like Terraform as well. Like
Cat's like some kind of barbarian eating raw meat, and he's like savage and everything. And yeah, I mean they have a good laugh. You know, you got like the great line from Lister when he goes to the good ship, the light ship, and he orders a noodle, and he's like, I've traveled the galaxy, I've fought aliens, I've given birth to twins, but I never thought I'd find a pot noodle that tasted good.
Yeah.
And it works as well because these are not achieved officers or professional officers. These are just guys who are kind of put in charge, but who are kind of forced into being in charge of this ship. And Rimmer is the only high-ranking one in there, and he's the fucking lowest, most useless, incompetent officer of them all.
Yeah, and
only Lister is lower down.
Yeah, 169. The thing about Rimmer is we've all had a boss like Rimmer. All of us have had a boss.
Or been that boss.
Or potentially been that boss who think they're good at their job and lord it over everybody else. But the fact of the matter is they're a fucking moron. But they just can't get he is his own worst enemy. And I could talk about just the character of Rimmer for ages because
he's so complex.
Fascinating. He's a fascinating character.
He gets on Lister's like.
Oh,
Mike's muted, mate. Your mic's turned off.
You've muted yourself, Ace Dad.
Yeah, the mic's gone. Is it?
There you go.
No?
Yeah, here we go. Technical glitch. What the hell was I saying? Rimmer is an absolute annoying as fuck. He gets on Lister's tits constantly, and you'd think he would just be an annoying character throughout 12 seasons, but he's not. You've got
he grows as a character.
How many movies or TV shows have you seen where there's two people and they're always fighting at each other's throats, and then at the end they fall in love and all that sort of bullshit tropes that you get? But with this,
I mean, they are whatever we should say. They are the core. They are the nucleus of the dwarf. You know, they are the, and that's why season 7 didn't work because he went away.
Yeah, he wasn't he had something else to do in Hollywood or something, and he couldn't commit.
He started doing film roles around that time because he started.
Yeah.
He was in like Tomb Raider.
Yeah, he did Tomb Raider and
other little things.
Yeah.
But he was definitely missed.
And he was a massive miss.
I'm sorry, guys. No, let's not forget though. Rimmer basically inspires a Star Trek character. That's your doctor. He's the EMH.
Yeah,
like a good 6 years before.
I don't like the fact that Lister is probably the more moral of them all, and he's a total slob. He's a total bum. He's lazy, but he does seem to evolve as a character. He shows to have some like leadership skills and a moral compass, and he does end up being the voice of reason in a way.
Mm-hmm.
While Crichton's the guy who has all the data, he's a very good exposition dump as well, because it makes sense as well. He's probably been through the galaxy a lot for a lot of years. He's lasted thousands of years because the crew that he last had died centuries ago, and so he has all this data in it. It makes sense, and
but at the same time,
Robert really does deliver the dialogue so well as well. Like he actually, every time he says something, you know he means it.
So here's the deal: if you could help me out, and maybe this will be good YouTubing. In America, on the high seas, when you watch this show, what happens is we have the episode where they meet their female selves, and then there's a different beginning in the next episode I was able to get, and Holly has been replaced by Hilly.
Yeah.
And there's a few substantial differences.
That's not another version that was originally intended. You got that Star Wars crawl that just speeds up, so you kind of got to slow it down so you can read what's actually happening. And I think it was kind of a reason.
Is it start of season 3?
Yeah, start of season 3.
Right, because I think we
they say
Hilly in episode 6 of season 1.
Yeah, it's Holly, but he's Holly, but he has a sex change to look like
sex change. Yeah.
And,
that's even funnier. All right, so that was great. That's great. Thank you for that. And where does Crichton come from? He's just there out of nowhere in my.
They recover him. He crashes somewhere. They recover him, but they can't restore him back to look like his original self. So I mean,
was he made by humans?
The Star Wars parody crawl.
Yeah. He's an actual droid designed for servitude. What happens is, at the end of season 2, Lister programs him to rebel, and he goes off on a bike. He just flips the bird to Rimmer and he goes off on a bike. And the idea is he crashes, and they put him back together, but he looks different. And he's a
bit of a Mr. Data, right?
Explains all of that, but it goes really fast. It's a different actor.
Okay, thank you. No, but he's sort of there. They decides to start parodying Star Trek. He's kind of Data, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's that archetype.
He kind of wants to be human as well, doesn't he? And that leads to some very, very funny scenarios.
Great episode as well, transmogrification. I can't remember if it's actually called transmogrification, but that episode where he becomes human is
DNA, isn't it?
DNA, that's it. Yeah, alter. Yeah,
transmogrification complete.
Yeah,
double Polaroid.
Takes Polaroids of his fucking penis inch by inch to show us.
He goes, I don't care what it is. They should give a human a double Polaroid, and he goes, "Are you sure, sir? It was the double easy suck with like something motion. He just does his thing with his eyebrows."
My charging socket doesn't work either. It doesn't matter how many times I plug it in, it just keeps falling out.
I know, you touch it.
So many great moments. I'll tell you what, we're never going to get to the episodes. We're just going to end up talking about our favourite bits.
We need to start getting to the episodes now.
It's going to take us 3 million years to get there, isn't it? Really?
I'll take this stream. Will take 3 fucking million years. We will get straight onto the episode now. It's been a good 20 minutes, and we will probably go a little bit more in depth into each season sometime during the year, because it really does deserve to be talked about.
I'll be there for that
episode. It really does. So so from top to bottom, the rules are: if someone mentions an episode and you've got it on your list, you will take turns. If one or more people have it on the list, you will take turns to mentioning it, and I can cross it off, and we move on to the next person and his next pick. So I will start first, top to bottom. My first pick is Dimension Jump with.
Yay!
Where it's the first time we get to meet Ace Rimmer, and obviously it starts off where the crew are basically trying to go on a fishing trip without Rimmer because he's such a smeghead, but then he catches them, and even though he's pretty much calls out that he's a total smeghead, they sort of like mollycoddle. They kind of sweet talk him and say, no, it's nothing like that, and bring them along, and then they have a crash, and they meet Ace Rimmer, who is everything Arnold isn't: brave, charming, good looking, charismatic, everything, and useful, competent. And you can really see
dashing.
Yeah, dashing. And Rimmer is totally fucking jealous of him, and his bitterness just becomes even more bloody apparent. And I really love this episode as well. I mean, it's a very
on my list.
Yeah, it's a good Rimmer episode as well, and I love the fact that Chris Barry can be convincingly charming and awesome as well. It just goes to show just how much range Chris Barry can have as an actor. He could be a total dweeb, he could be a total badass. And
one of my favourite things, it's not in this episode, but is when he does Rimmer impersonating Ace.
Yeah,
he's trying to. It's so good because it sounds like Rimmer impersonating Ace, not just a bad Ace impression. It's really, really well done. It's quality. Yeah,
I also love the fact that it kind of talks about the choices we choose as well, and the different paths it leads, because that's the very thing that sets up this episode. One little decision he made in the past, and there's different alternate versions apparently, and it kind of adds a tragedy to Ace Rimmer as well. Yeah, he can have human Crichton, who's a straight man, want to shag him as well because he's awesome.
If you're interested, sir,
I'll be my quadrant is covered in maple syrup.
Tarama salata.
Yeah.
I do also like the fact that when Lister hears that his version is with Kachansky and they've got kids and they're married and they're having a set life, he kind of, I know. It kind of shows just how different him and Rimmer are as well, because Lister is actually very happy that the ultimate version of him is with Kachansky because
he doesn't have that bitterness.
It makes sense as well. It's like, you know what? He's earned it. I haven't. But what Rimmer, he's a total opposite. Is like, yeah, but seeing him being better than me, it just makes me bitter and fucking, and it just shows how petulant he is.
And therein lies the lesson and the message, though, isn't it? It's kind of people who haven't sort of struggled and dragged themselves up through I don't know, society or whatever you want to call it, and struggled and tried and failed and failed, because adversity and all that. And then
case has though, because he mentions that he decided to stay on, and because he was the tallest kid in the class, he used to get picked on, and it made life hard for him, and it made him become.
He failed the test. He failed the test. So basically, one of them got kept back a year. And the whole thing is that Rimmer thinks that Ace has had all these advantages and he got given everything in life, and that's why he's where he is. But it's not. The truth is that Ace Rimmer fucked up and he got kept back a year. And as Ace says, being the tallest kid in the class, he got picked on, made him buck his ideas up and try harder.
Exactly.
And that's
some funny moments as well, like the cat fucking is injured as well. He's delirious and as well. Green, they'll go well with this outfit. Because it's even when he's fucking
green with apricot, I think I can pull it off. Wow.
And I love that little moment as well, where they're trying to read the magazines to sort of like make sure when they
crashing into the sea.
Yeah. That seems to be. I think that seems to be on key as well, because I've heard about people who get really fucking drunk, but yet they get hit by a car, but because their body is just so relaxed, it becomes like a soft casing, doesn't it?
It's all true.
I just love how Ace Rimmer is just a pastiche upon all of the over-the-top 80s action heroes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the bit where he saves Lister nearly falls off. Starbug, and he catches him with his arm. And he's like, oh, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna have to do something sissy. I'm gonna have to pass out. And he's like, he wakes up again. You know,
and they come off. And as soon as they're finished, Lister's just talking about all the awesome things he's done. We don't see it, but this is one of the few times where telling but not showing works, because it's funnier. It's just funny just hearing them talk about it as well. It's because it sounds.
Yeah, but even then, Ace is like gracious enough to say, like, oh, you know, Skipper, you know, if you hadn't done, I can't work out what it was, but if you hadn't done that thing, then we would be able to. And then, you know, Rimmer, because he's bitter, is like, no. Ace and Skipper sounds like a boy in his bush kangaroo.
So that's my fest episode there. So has anyone else got this on their list?
Me, 100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Fandad.
I think that's like at number 3.
Yeah. Well,
for me.
Yeah. Share your thoughts on it then.
Excellent.
Come on, there's got to be more than that.
Me a kipper. I think we've just we said just about everything.
I mean, it did give us that amazing line, didn't it? Smoke me a kipper about.
It's like it's engraved in timelessness, isn't it? It's,
exactly.
It's one of the most memorable ones for me, even though I probably can't even remember most of the episode because I'm old. But I think like what I was saying before, like the message here for me is like you get old, and if you haven't sort of strived and gone through hardships and you know, work hard, play a hard ethic in your life, you are going to be bitter and you're going to regret not doing the shit that you should have done. And I think that's what Rimmer's doing here. He's coming across as like, oh, he's all this, he's had all the breaks, and he's this great guy, and I haven't had anything, and woe is me. And it's like the victim mentality kind of thing, but it's actually Ace he's been kept back, and he was a foot taller than everyone else in the class, and he was laughed at, but he's knuckled down, and he's done the hard work, and he's put the graft in, as we say, and he's come out on top.
Wasn't it also like they both have a learning disability, but Ace faced it down and got he didn't so much overcome it as he came to terms with it and compensated for it, and Rimmer denied it and became worse and dumber.
Yeah. And hence all the regret and sort of contempt towards his alter ego, if you like.
I mean, it's not in the TV series, but in the novelization of Red Dwarf, Rimmer spends all of his downtime when he's not working, not existing. He puts himself in stasis because he thinks he'll live longer that way. So all this time that Rimmer could be doing things, improving himself and all that kind of stuff. No. He puts himself.
He hides away for it. It's like procrastination, isn't it?
Exactly, which speaks so much to his character.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what he was going to be doing.
It goes hand in hand with this particular episode of
exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you don't see life like the horns, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to do anything, and it's going to affect your character.
Exactly.
He's unaware of his mechanical nature, because when he remains in holographic form long enough, he becomes tired. He needs to think he's asleep, I guess, right? They say he's unable to sleep because he's always listening to self-improvement and self-hypnosis tapes, but he tries, he gets tired, he becomes irritable. It's so weird. He's one neurotic computer file.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add to this episode, Fandad? Or Ace Dad?
No.
Okay, we'll move on. So, Admiral Teague, what's your pick?
Yeah.
Well, if we're going in any sort of order, the first one I had was actually the one that I found the funniest was absolutely Parallel Universe, because it was ahead of its time, and it ended up speaking exactly to certain problems that we have in media today. We could say this one was written for modern audiences without being aware that it was. In Parallel Universe, we meet our female selves and we go F ourselves. It's hilarious. Female Rimmer is just as much of an idiot as male Rimmer, but she's cooler. Female Dave and Dave, she's Deb. Everyone's like dressed exactly the same, but they're sort of their opposites. There's an opposite for Holly, the computer. It's Hilly, their computer, and they're from some sort of reverse Amazonian version of Earth. And what I like about this one too is that it has things that were hinted at in another episode, where in future echoes we see Dave with 2 twin boys, and in this one he becomes pregnant. And there's like a bunch of 2001 A Space Odyssey jokes. I thought it was really funny. I enjoyed Parallel Universe a great deal, and it wasn't overly serious or overly diving into it, but it was just mocking all of time travel, all of parallel universes, all this multiverse nonsense we have, and at the same time that they chose to do it through gender swapping makes it just absolutely perfect. Like this article, it's like, this is a warning from your past. It was like, and then mankind didn't heed episode 6 of season 1 of Red Dwarf. And it's like that, when they read the list of our sins, that's going to be on there.
I love the fact that the history is kind of gender swapped as well. Like Wilma Shakespeare wrote like all those great plays.
The men burning all their jock straps in the movement.
Yeah. And I would just say, you see them wearing them here. In I don't know how much you guys care about this, but our American, I guess to you, misnamed football, let's call it the NFL, has a team called the New York Jets, which I am a big fan of, and it is like the curse of my life to be a fan of this team. He wears a London Jets t-shirt, and I'm very pleased to say, like when we say Star Trek sometimes does things first, the New York Jets are playing 5 home games in London this year. So have fun with that, guys. They're the worst team in the history of the National Football League, a 55-year curse, and going strong. So they sort of had the future right there with their London Jets t-shirts. I got to get one now.
I love this. I love how the setup is just ridiculous as well. It's just a box that says "Stop and Start" on it. That's it.
Yeah, the Hollyhock Drive. Yeah.
They were aware enough. Most of their props and their sets are good enough. They're not immersion breaking. In episodes 1 and 2, which I was tempted to make my favorites, honestly, I wonder if it aired at once because it's very companionish and they sort of set up their whole world throughout that. And it's a sufficiently believably preposterous and enjoyable world that I'm willing to let them do these things. And at the same time, they're very good with like keeping track of stuff and calling back on jokes and remembering their own lore. So they're as good as the people they're poking fun at, or on a level of competence where they deserve to be respected for how well they do it.
This is the first time you see Hilly as well.
Yes, this is the introduction of Hilly.
You know, the switch over for Holly. So a lot of help.
Basically, her audition for season 3. I think. I think Norman Lovett was going to do season 3, but apparently, I don't know why he was off. I think maybe he got tired of it. I don't know.
He fell out with one of the writers. I'm pretty sure he was billed to be in. I don't know if he was billed to be in season 3. There was something that went on. And they didn't give him a call back and didn't even tell him that they didn't want him for whatever season or for whatever particular episodes. And he just sort of, I think he just said, fuck yeah, kind of thing. And just fell out with the whoever was running the production. That's what I read.
Tragic as that is for him personally, I think we're better off because Hilly has a reduced role, so to speak, and she doesn't have like some kind of ambition for the character. She's just happy to be there being the computer, and we can get more focused on Dave and Rimmer and Kat and what's going on with them, because God knows Dave is the deity of 3 or 4 different religions, I found out, including a cat religion, and it's all sorts of fun stuff. So if we had tried... We could not have developed another major character. It was much better for us. And I personally, as much as I'll give the guy credit for originating the role, Hilly is by default somehow funnier than Holly. I'm sorry. It might be blasphemy in the world of Red Dwarf.
I would agree with hilarious. I would agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
I did like the fact that they had a bit of a relationship in season 2. Though, like, he's an AI who's fucking computer senile, because I think it's so much to do with him trying to keep the ship going for 3 million years.
It's been turned on for 3 million years. Yeah, he's just basically got a bit.
It's become crazy. We find that out in one of my other favorite episodes. But yeah, like he's in love with himself too, just like they are when he meets Hill for the first time.
And yeah, I mean, Holly is kind of a take on Hal anyway, isn't he? Kind of, you know,
absolutely.
The AI.
Yeah, it's like Hal feels a little bit of a sacky old game. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
But once they move on from that actor, the character stays as prominent as the role of the computer stays as prominent, but they're not pushing at the edges all the time anymore like they were when they had it. So maybe that was one too many people for them to handle, because the show goes on to be brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean,
You might not have been able to handle it.
Yeah, it adds a different dynamic to it once Hilly takes over. It's Patty something, isn't it? I can't remember her name.
Patty Hayridge, I think.
Patty
it is.
Hayridge,
yeah. Once she
I
takes
want my
over, you do
computer
get
assistant.
a different feel to it, definitely.
I want my phone and assistant to respond to me like her. That was my favorite AI.
I'm
And by
surprised
the
they haven't done
way,
it.
this show's 1989, right?
Yeah, that's when it first
Okay.
aired.
I don't think anyone used the term AI before that I can think or pin down. Maybe they did, but like Holly rather is the one who says it. Just says it. All but AI with the IQ of 6,000.
third generation AI or something like that.
Third generation AI,
Yeah. Just rolls off the tip of his tongue like it's nothing, and it's just like I don't think it registered in my mind when I saw it because that's one that I remembered. We had, like I said, we got a few of them. And I was just like, meh, whatever, letters, I guess an AI is a kind of a robot. I didn't realize that it meant something. So it was pretty forward looking. It's smart science fiction satire.
They used the word simp as well, which I'd never heard of until like the last couple of years. And then I was watching.
Yeah, I heard
recently.
the word simp in something old recently. I
They
can't
must
remember what it was. It must be an old word that's just been repicked up.
Yeah,
I mean,
Like
it'll
woke
be a
is-
contraction of simpering, won't it? Which has always been a word.
Or
So-
yes, or simpleton. You know what? It's weird. We have these cycles. Woke is from like post World War II, crops up again in the early '60s, and now has a third and different context from the other two that we aren't so crazy about, right?
Everything repeats itself over given time. You have cycles of everything from fashion to
I think it's short for bullshit, isn't it?
The modern iteration of woke comes
Modern
from
is,
it was, it's honestly the first use of the word modernly is someone at a Democratic U.S. convention, a lady named Marianne Williamson, who's kind of accused of being more on a book tour than running for office, invoked it to endorse the actions of the Prime Minister of New Zealand after a tragedy where she was going to take things away from people, and she's like, what would you say to her about this? And she said, "Sister, you are so woke," and people's minds were blown by the level of stupidity. And the person who said it is not really a politician, but a new age writer. So the word got this. I don't think we still know what the word truly means, but like we definitely don't like anything that is.
Yeah.
New age writer. Yeah, that sounds like a major red flag there.
Exactly.
Marianne Williamson is the name of the politician. If you want to like Google like U.S. Democratic election, U.S. Democratic primary 2016, Marianne Williamson, woke, you'll get the quote. It's about Jacinda, whatever her name is.
Yeah, I think I remember her as well.
I know the one.
Yeah, there was a tragedy. We'll leave it at that. And Marianne Williamson was asked, if this was to happen in America, would you, and someone did that, what would you say to them? And she would say, "Sister, you are so woke," which is like a non-answer and a dodge and a use of like they come after other people for using words like bigly, which are also like, it's a real word, but it's archaic. So it's like it's a head shaker. But with her, it was just like, let me throw in some edgy. She was like a candidate from the Snyderverse.
Wow.
A lot of edge talk.
She sounds like a smooth.
Me.
To this day, yeah, she absolutely is. And you know what? If we stopped everything with Red Dwarf now and tried to figure out what woke really means for the rest of this show, I bet it would get almost
3 million
nowhere.
years.
Yeah.
We would need as much
We will
time
move
as
on, though. We will move on from
Yes.
politics a little bit now because we can do politics on another stream because I try not to delve too much into politics, even though I do have my leanings, and because I just want to talk about fucking movies and TV on this. And so is there anything you want to talk about Parallel Universe before I move on to Critical?
It was perceptive of all these things that we do see now that are called woke. It was perceptive of the gender swapping. It was perceptive of the multiverse stuff. It was so many things that are happening in 2024 and 2025 movies colliding at once inside of this one episode of the show. It was a lot of fun. And because they were right about so many things, it has really high futurism IQ. Like, this was good futurism by them. They were ahead 30 to 35 years, and maybe they get a couple more things right yet still. A+, I loved it. This is my favorite episode.
Yeah, don't forget fucking Cat can dance and sing. I mean, that is a real good number.
And Dog can't.
Yes.
Yeah, Dog can't. Definitely.
Yeah,
Dog is great too.
It's
yes,
like, I'm
Dog
going to get your little titties. And it's like, oh, it's going to be very disappointed. Because he's not a girl. He's a dog. Yeah,
And of course, the dog's an American.
Yeah, he's like a proper American redneck, and he's like, please. Yeah.
Not too smart either. Yeah, he's one of us.
Yeah, so Critical, what's your next pick?
Right, okay, so my first pick, and I have to say that even though we got told to do 5 episodes, I was like, no.
You did 15, didn't you?
Not a chance. No, I've been good. I'm going to keep it to 5. But the way to do it, I figured, was basically to take 1 from each season. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 1 from each season. My first one is from season 1, and it is Me Squared.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good one as well, because even
Rima
can't exactly stand himself either.
It is absolutely.
I got that as honorable mention.
It's a brilliant episode. There is such good interplay between the two Rimmers. I mean, it just puts everything up there. And on top of that, even like the technology is quite good. Like the way they shoot it. I mean, obviously we know they never actually cross paths and that kind of stuff, but it's really well done. And Chris Barry just absolutely sells it of these very 2 different versions, because one has had that experience of being with Rimmer, with Lister, all that stuff in the meantime, and the other one is the old, driven, real arsehole Rimmer. And they just keep one-upping each other, and like one of them's painting the ship military grey, and then he's like, no, I'm going to paint it back to ocean grey, but it's practically the same fucking colour. And, the fact that Rimmer can't get on with anybody, but on top of that, he can't even get on with himself.
He hates himself, doesn't he?
He hates himself. And it's brilliant. I love this episode. I think it's got some of Chris Barry's greatest stuff in it. And Me Squared, man. Fucking brilliant. And it all starts off from Rimmer getting one over on Lister by basically bait and switching Kachansky's holographic disc with another one of his own. I love Me Squared, man. It is an absolutely fantastic episode. And this reminded me of with Mickey 17 is what particularly brought this back into my mind, because this does what Mickey 17 tries to do so much better, just so much better,
like 2 million% better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
even Moon, Moon
really
did this better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Moon as well. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. I could have picked a number of episodes from season 1 because it is fantastic, but I had to pick one, and it was Me Squared.
Yes. I also like the fact this is probably the first time we start to see a little bit of sympathy towards Rimmer as well, when he mentions the gazpacho soup.
Gazpacho soup, yeah, that's it. I mean, just one little mistake. But the thing is, you have to think, like, if he just literally just gone, oh God, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was supposed to. And, he would have had a completely different trajectory to his life. But he's let it destroy him. This one little thing, he's let it destroy him, and now he's a laughing joke to all but it's because he won't, you can be that person in a society or in a crew or whatever and make these mistakes and still come back from them. But Rimmer can't, because he lets them haunt him and he won't change. This episode's a great description of that. And it's got such great writing in it. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, and plus Rimmer, he could, if he was a much more fucking humane person, he would have accepted. All right, you can get Kachansky. You don't need to switch me off, so that's okay. So fill your boots, mate. Ask her out, see how she feels. Get some closure. And that's the one thing that I didn't like about the other seasons, is that they retconned Lister's relationship with Kachansky. Because apparently they retconned it to say that they did go out and she dumped him, but in the earlier seasons he never asked her out, and
he never had to ask her.
There was always that not knowing as well, which I thought made his character a little bit more tragic, and they kind of took that away when they did season 4. And
again, as you say, you get the human part of Rimmer here as well when he does. Lister gets him drunk, basically. And even then he's like, "Oh, Scotch," and he's like, "Do you want it?" It's like straight with a lemonade and a cherry and a slice of
doubles, doesn't he?
Can't have a Scotch straight like a man.
But you got a bit with it in the cinema as well, and it's just the pettiness behind it. And yeah, the whole episode is just all about Rimmer, and yeah, it's a great one. So for season 1, and as I say, I'll do one from each season. This will be my number 1 pick.
Can I tell you a quick story? I hope the wife's not watching this. So we were watching. I said, sit down and have a watch this bit. And it was the gazpacho story. And after he told it, she absolutely burst out laughing, like to where she was like spitting and snot was coming out. Because back in the early 90s, and I shit you not, me and her, a couple of my friends and their girlfriends, we went to Spain for a holiday. And Jackie, my wife, and my friend David ordered gazpacho soup. And I'm not kidding you, when it came and they took a mouthful and they sent it back and said, put it in the microwave. Swear to God that actually happened. And she hadn't even seen this episode at all until last night. And she spat her tea out. Yeah, true story.
I know it never seems to get much attention there, gazpacho soup.
No,
that much. I mean, it seems to be a very common dish as well. Just like tomato
I had
soup.
no idea what it was. I had no idea what kind of soup it was or anything. I was just
same here when I first watched
opened a tin of chopped tomatoes and poured it into a bowl and just ate it. It's literally, it's actually chilled, like chilled tomatoes.
It's basically like tomato juice.
Yeah, pretty much.
You could probably make a Bloody Mary with it. Seriously,
nice one's been in the microwave though. Apparently, it's really nice.
Yeah. You know, I had this one too. The only note I would have to add is Cat is feeling super sexy in this one. We have some great Cat moments in it.
Yeah, because he doesn't really serve the plot, but he is still very entertaining. He's just on the rollerblades, just looking for something to.
He's Ruby Rhodes, isn't he? He's Ruby Rod, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of got a little bit like James Brown thing going on there as well when he goes that.
Yeah, he's a cat, isn't he? He's a cool cat. Cool cat, yeah.
I know Lister was actually
a very good American accent.
Yeah, you know when they actually wrote the character, they actually handed the script to Lister and asked him, "Is the cat racist?" And he's like, "No, the cat's fucking cool. Have him."
Cool.
Cool.
He's an idiot, but he's cool. But he's not an idiot.
Yeah, no.
He's not an idiot because he's black. He's an idiot because he's a cat.
I know. He's vain, isn't he? He's very, very vain, which leads to
it's his whole thing.
Yeah, which does lead to my next pick. Oh yeah, hey, not be right. How you doing, man? Okay, hey, glad to see you in the chat. Finally, someone's in the chat. It's been very, very dead out there for 47 minutes, but yeah. So, is there anything more you need to add on Me Too, Critical, or is that it?
No, I mean, I think everything's been said. I think it's just great, and as you said, at the end of it, you do start to get that softening between Lister and Rimmer.
Because even Lister's
absolutely lowest. He thinks he's about to die.
Yeah, because even Lister's kind of sympathetic to him as well, but he still doesn't stop taking the piss out of him a little bit. You know?
I love the fact that he says, "I will never ever bring up gazpacho soup ever again."
Yeah,
and
there's
let's go and get another drink. Super. Brilliant. Yeah, okay. No, I'm not got anything else to say. I think season 1 is so full of good episodes, but it does get overlooked sometimes because it is a little bit rough around the edges somewhere. And I could have picked Waiting for God. I could have picked loads of them, man. But yeah, Me Squared just for that.
Okay.
Double Rimmer. Now you got it in stereo, baby.
Yeah. Moving on to Fan Dad. So yeah, what's your first pick?
Let's have a look, because I haven't got much time, so I think I'll just go straight.
Why don't you just do it?
We'll do a quick little overview on your top 5 then.
I'll go where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so I've got it number 5. I mean, it's impossible to pick, isn't it? So I've just had to go with my gut feeling. Polymorph was at number 5, which I love because I just think it's great science fiction.
Yes,
it is.
Like every part of Red Dwarf's like it's got to be the greatest science fiction TV show ever made, ever written. For me personally, it is, because it's just got a bit of everything in there. Back to Reality at number 4, because I think that's absolutely brilliant the way that
I think that's got to go down as one of the all-time bests.
And it introduces us to Dwayne Dibley. No, please.
It's genius the way that it takes every single character and finds the one thing that will destroy them. Rimmer is
It's
a complete bum and he's a loser, so you can't blame anybody because his brother's a fucking successful. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And yeah, it's
Like
back
I
to
said,
reality.
they end up being brothers, don't they?
Yeah,
Billy
they're brothers,
Doyle
yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah.
and they're
And it's
taking
got
a
Timothy
shot at
Spallman as
Total
well.
Recall, right?
Yeah, very
Yeah,
possibly.
way,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
because you're wondering if this is reality or if this is all some kind of trick
Yeah.
played.
I mean, in Back to Earth, they go too far into the Blade Runner thing, and it is actually an insult to the source material, in my opinion. But yeah, no, Back to Reality, yeah, one of the all-time Red Dwarfs for sure.
Timothy Spallman there as well.
Ah, yeah.
And it's got the actor from Electric
What a
Dreams.
bunch of twonks.
He
What a
was
bunch of twonks. It's like, you've been in this game for 4 years and you didn't get to Kachanski.
You see the people playing the game after them and then like blasting out of windows.
It's like a proper twist in the knife, isn't it? It's like a proper twist in the knife. I love it.
You played the Pratt version of Rimmer.
Yeah.
Twonk. Yeah, but it was my family, it was my father, and it was my upbringing, and that. No, yes, no, yes, yes, no.
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 That was a clue, wasn't it? Remember to be a bright swim. Never swim.
See the microdot in the eye, the eye in his swim certificate. He can't even swim. Oh yeah, fucking mint.
Yeah.
Dimension Jump we've already gone through because it's got Ace and all the rest of it. Brilliant. Better Than Life has always been one of my faves as well.
That is in my pick, and I'll mention that soon then.
I think
it's the book of Better Than Life, which is quite dark, or did you
it is
TV show Better Than Life?
Yeah, the book. I mean, because Lister's like living this life.
Wasting away in the book.
In the same setting as It's a Wonderful Life. Rim has this fucking horrible wife who hates him, but he's got this life of riches, and Cat's just basically doing what he does in the Better Than Life. And when they come out, they've been in there for so long that their muscles are really useless now, and you can barely move, and they're pretty much malnutritioned. Everything. It's
in the book, yeah.
In the book, yeah. The book. You read the book, man. It really does delve a bit darker.
There's 4 Red Dwarf books. You've got Red Dwarf, Infinity, Welcome to Careful Drivers. You've got Better Than Life. You've got Backwards, and then you've got, I think it's The Last Human.
Ah.
And The Last Human is the very final one.
Might have to learn to read then.
The books are pretty good actually because they are written by Doug Naylor and Rob Grant. Or at least the first 2 are, and then I think they split up and they do one each or something like that.
No,
so I think Rob Grant did Backwards and then Naylor did Last Human or something. But yeah, they're worth checking out. They're good books.
But I just like the fact that you can do pretty much anything you want, or you can dream stuff up. But the comedic part of it is that it just all goes wrong.
Poor Rimmer just fucking ruins paradise.
Yeah, I just He this morning Magruder, what was it? She had 7 kids or something, and got rid of the jag.
She made me marry her.
Fucking tax inspectors after him. Fucking hell, man, wants to break his thumbs and stuff. It's okay. I'll pay your tax bill. Oh no, I've just whisked all your money away.
Yeah, no, it's like
fucking hell. And then they're buried in the sand with like jam all over their face. And
even fucking Holly's got jam on his head going. Geez, you can't take him anyway, can you?
On the monitor. It's just it's got to be the best
TV
show ever.
Yeah, I do like this episode because this is also where you get to really find out why Rimmer is the way he is. And Jesus Christ, he has had a fucking tough upbringing. I mean, his dad was a fucking bastard, man. And it's like,
well, when he's round the table with all the admirals, etc., and his dad turns up and he's like, I just wanted to say, yes. I just wanted to say, son, yes. You're a total smeghead.
Yeah. Well, this is my fantasy.
Not
mine. This is the one thing he wants as well. This is the one thing he wants. He's got everyone admiring him. He's got Magruder wanting to have a life with him, and he still can't get his dad to approve him.
It is.
His neurosis won't let him be happy. Rimmer is actually, from a psychological perspective, an absolutely fascinating character.
Yeah,
he is absolutely fascinating character.
There's always like a lesson in every episode. The lesson there is just like you think that you've got all the things around you that matter to you, but what really matters to you most is kind of like family and the approval of your father's huge thing to a lot of people. And he doesn't get it, and it's just soul destroying, and that's probably what sends him downhill to for everything to just start crumbling and going wrong. Hearing that from his father, even though it was the cat that did it to him, it kind of must have psychologically within the game.
I mean, that's it. It literally, it just it's his neurosis. He remembers his own worst enemy. You know, he's in his own fantasy.
Yeah,
he can't even win anything more than the vapid, emptiest. The fucking Napoleon bit.
Yeah, no.
Your biggest fan. Just
so good.
He doesn't even say anything to him, does he? He just pulls a pen out of his jacket for him. Signs his book. Yeah. And then he tries to think of like, how do I get to the bar? Oh, anywhere you like, sir. And they go off on a Harley, and he just goes wow, and it's like
a little Reliant Robin. Didn't he pop up?
Yeah, Reliant Robin on the beach.
Figure.
Oh God. Yeah, and then Magruder turns up with a peephole bra.
Yeah.
Why do you think I was so lost?
Twice in one lifetime, I'm turning into Hugh Hefner.
You can touch things. You can touch. Yes. Why do you think I was so long? Whoa. Brilliant.
Yeah, at least he gets to have a bit of class as well with a caviar vindaloo with lots of bread and lager, and it's like
comparing on
1984
in a pint mug.
Hey, Rob Sanderson, glad you could join us as well. And thanks. And it is one of the best sci-fi comedy series.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that and Hitchhikers might be. There was another one called Hyperdrive, which didn't do well, and I might have to have another go one day. But
I watched it all, and there were flashes of good stuff in there.
Yeah,
but it wasn't great on the whole. Really, it didn't really work. I can see what they were going for, but it point blank just wasn't well enough written. But there were a few bits in the episodes I was like, I can kind of see what that's doing. That's kind of a little bit Star Trek-y, or taking the piss out of Star Trek, even though the best Star Trek parody ever is and always will be Galaxy Quest. But
because that is basically like it takes the piss out of Star Trek, but at the same time just shows a lot of love to it as well.
For sure. Yeah, Galaxy Quest is fucking. I love Galaxy Quest. It's brilliant. And not just because Sigourney Weaver's got her tits. But was it like 14, 15-year-old me was just like, ooh.
Oh yeah, you want to get through your other episodes?
Yes, sorry. And then
what's your other episode?
I'm going to go for my number one episode ever, and it's a fucking belter, and it'll never not be funny. And it's series 2, episode 5, Queeg.
Yes, you bastard! That was one.
That is a good one. It's an honourable mention, man, and it kind of fleshes the relationship out between them and Holly a little bit as well, because
it's just genius from start to finish.
The junior encyclopedia of space.
Yeah, it's like
Spectre for me is awesome.
He fucking denies it as well while still looking it up right in front of him.
And he brings it up like the camera shot and then puts it back down.
The visual comedy, the character comedy, absolutely everything is brilliant in Queeg. And that punchline, the twist at the end is
the
just
fucking twist, man. That's probably the greatest thing in television history.
Oh man, it's so good.
I've only got one thing to say to you guys. White dudes. Like, what the fuck? And then he comes on screen and says, we're talking Jacob and Rick. We are talking
April, May, June, July.
It's like, what?
Yeah, that's right. I was Queen.
I am Queen. In hell, man.
That was a great reveal.
Yeah.
I had Queeg too.
Sorry, go on, man.
Queeg was my number 2. That's all I was going to say.
Queeg would have been my pick for season 2. That would have been my pick.
It's
I think
hilarious.
even seeing it like 40 times, it's still funny because you know what's going to happen, which is not usually the case for jokes. You can't really repeat a joke because you know the punchline, but like it's working up to this happening, and I'm getting excited and starting to giggle to myself because I know it's coming, and just the delivery of those lines to let them know that they've been absolutely had, like pea on toast. I want my pea. Where's my pea? And then it's
there's another American voice, right? Another American characterization of the mean drill sergeant type, and I would just say the only thing that could have made this character better was if his name was Teague.
See what you did there.
Yeah. Nice. You know what? He's kind of Captain Jellicoe, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very intimidating as well. He's like he is full on fucking ruthless, Queeg.
When he takes control of Rimmer's body.
I know, it makes him more like 10 fucking cars.
Oh god, trunk curls. Oh. One, mummy. Help me! Mercy!
We've got a few different Next Generation episodes going on with that one. Like Elementary Dear Data is sort of in there. And we've got, just everyone where we have an AI that's like self-aware. We have the Ira Graves episode. And I think all of those are out there by the time this comes out. So I think they would have been remiss not to watch Next Generation. So I think it's starting to, some stuff from Star Trek and Next Generation show up in the show. And they even mentioned that they watched Star Trek in one episode. I think Lister scoffs at something and says, Star Trek's not for an hour.
There's a thing where it's when Crichton's going to die and they give him the knife, the night of his life at a party. And he says, am I starting to feel this human thing called friendship? And then Lucy's like, forget all that Star Trek crap,
Early in the morning.
Early in the morning, yeah. It's early in the morning, Star Trek crap. It's fucking...
Is that Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah.
It's just a fucking silver
joy.
These are the last people you want running off ship the size of a fucking city, but you love them anyway. You just love them because that's what makes them so great. They're the underdogs. These are, it's like I said, these are not proper professional officers.
No, it's truckers in space again, isn't it?
These are just the working men who are just kind of forced into taking over the ship because Rimmer pretty much has did a bung up on the hyperdrive thing, didn't he? And
he didn't maintain the drive plate correctly, and it blows up in the middle of him getting disciplined. You know what it is? It's the dumbest people are the last people left alive.
Yeah.
Oh man, his last words.
Gazpacho soup. Yeah.
I laughed out loud at that one because it took me a moment. I was like, wait, the gazpacho soup, because it's not a very popular dish in America. We just have salad instead. But it took me a minute. I'm like, oh yeah, the tomato paste soup. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, so you mentioned that Queeg was your number one. So yeah, and someone else had it on their list, or was it
number
again?
two?
Was it you? Yeah, it's number two. I guess so.
It's really funny. It's real. What I had here was just, I love the mean computer. I love how it was everything that Hal wasn't, right? Holly is kind of lax and nice and lets things go. And Queeg is just a taskmaster and really mean. And he has Rimmer, doing double the amount of work, and has Dave forced to work to eat, and even puts the cat to work, which is supposed to be impossible. Yeah. And he's just ramrodding everyone nonstop, like this mean-spirited overseer. And then when they go to face off with the Battle of Wits, it's like, I will Holly is like, I'll take you on in any game of wits. He's like, chess. Don't beat around the bush. I'll let you choose. Chess. What do you want to play? Go ahead, say it. Chess. Holly's basic and the truth of the matter really probably is that I think that the things we found out about the Child's Almanac to how to navigate in space probably is part of Holly's problem, because he never manages to really, truly, and completely get them back to Earth. They go to some near Earths, which I think is always a jab at Star Trek, especially the backwards planet, which is great. But I did love Queeg, not just because it rhymes with Teague, but and not just because that I am crazy as that robot when I do my show, but because it was just generally very, very, very funny.
Mm.
And it was another. It was an episode done.
And it does have a good message. It's like Holly says at the end: "Be appreciative of what you've got." Sometimes.
Because
he jerks the leash on them.
Be happy with what
My
you got.
feeling was
fantastic.
Yeah, my feeling on that one was actually Holly showed he was in charge by jerking the leash, so to speak, and saying like, it could be like this. You want to deal with someone like a Queeg. You want to deal with a Queeg, you could have that problem, or you could have me, and you could show me a little more respect for my 6,000 IQ, so I don't have to keep repeating it to you.
It's like,
they
thought they were getting something better. They thought they were getting something more efficient, and be careful what you wish for, I guess.
The computer has stated in a few of the intros that it has gone nuts, either directly or indirectly. And so we have to be left to not to wonder, but we know this computer's manner of thinking has become eccentric in 3 million years on its own.
Yeah, he even says, I've become quite peculiar, to be honest, which is putting it mildly.
To be that smart and have nothing to interact with whatsoever. I mean, maybe it becomes deeply interested in astrophysics, but no, not this malingering, lazy, self-hating AI. It just sits there and waits for someone to complain to. For 3 million years.
Yeah. And it's fucking crazy that we're watching something that's set 3 million years in the future, and it's like, Jesus, it kind of leaves you wondering what's happened to Earth in those years. Is it gone now? As people,
it's weird because there's nothing particularly futuristic about the show at all. They've still got vending machines. There's no replicators or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? There's fuck was really realistic about it. It's all run down and cheap looking and that kind of stuff. But as you
said, AI is futuristic.
Yeah, right. Rob Sanson is fucking right here. Yeah, they're palleted Rimmer.
Oh, when he passes out.
When he does a 3-mile run, and he's just.
Yeah, I was very happy in the episodes when we finally get the star bugs and other things. Like every few episodes, the ship gets a little better. And we ditch those really low-tech painting robots after episode 5. We don't see them anymore.
Scutters. It's only because they kept breaking.
Did they? It's like, oh, look, somebody rigged up K9 and sent him back onto the set for one more moment in the sun.
They kept breaking all the time. So that's why they
fingers for a face.
You could see people were manipulating them physically when they were doing some of the painting. You could tell a stagehand was laying on the floor, just moving it with his hands, roughly. It was funny. It got the point across. And again, what someone said about the episode with the two Rimmers is, he had made of himself a perfect adversary. He was the most impossible person to live with, might be yourself sometimes, which is the parallel and the truth.
Because despite its more comical lead, there is some very good philosophical
for sure
ideas here as well. And yes, since we've moved on. So since anyone, sorry, Teague, do you want to say some last words on Queeg before we move on to the next episode?
Well acted. Let's take our hats off to the guy who did a fantastically consistent American accent, so good that I'm like, they found a lot of Americans who moved to England. You guys do our accent better than we do yours. Although I say the history
in Hollywood, it must be.
This is the problem for you guys. I don't know how you're able to trust each other and do business in England, because in America, what we've been exposed to for the last, say, 35 to 40 years is that when some director or Hollywood type judges dialogue to be too stupid to get by without anybody questioning it, they're like, we better get a British actor to say this. This way, people just nod their way through it and they'll be like, sounds good enough for me. It's like, later, the temporal wake behind the Borg is collapsing. Our time travel rules don't matter. Follow them to the Battle of Star Trek First Contact. It's just ridiculous.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad, actually.
I like it. You've got the job.
I can be the Sir Peace to meme generator. I can't believe Gene Roddenberry left that poor fish on the set. That monster. You really can't blame Marina for making a valid political observation. She's got freedom of speech.
Yeah. So we'll move on now to since we're going back up to the top now. I think I've already mentioned Better Than Life. That's already mentioned. So two of mine have been ticked off here. So what else? Oh, The Inquisitor, which I think season 5.
Great episode.
Yeah.
A brilliant episode, and
not my pick for season 5, but a great episode nonetheless.
I do like the idea of it as well. Is this guy who's basically gone to the end of time? He's he's come to the conclusion there's no God, and that life is very valuable, and you must live it in a very live a fulfilling life anyway. So he's just going back through time and raising people who haven't led a fulfilling life and replacing them with versions of themselves that have more potential. And I love the idea that he isn't really judging them. You judge yourself.
Yeah,
you know, it puts you in this little sort of like other dimension, and you have to answer to yourself and justify your existence. And I really love that. And I love that Rimmer is still trying to worm his way out of his getting wiped out of existence. It's so funny. It's even before he says anything, his inquisitor self's like, "You liar!" It's like, I have tried. No, you have.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
but, this is the thing I really like. Again, you get a bit of Rimmer's character because he's like, look, what else could I have been? Yes, I'm nothing, but for me, what I started on, nothing is up. And, you know, that's like a really, like, he knows, he understands his self-loathing is there. And that's why he doesn't get deleted. Because
it's like how you look at your life, and if you feel it's being fulfilled. And I love that the fact that the cat's only philosophy on a fulfilling life is by having a beautiful ass.
Yeah.
I was just, my only comment. My only comment is, what does real or holographic Rimmer know of life as we know it as a human being? He's such a kind of an idiot.
I know, and and I like the fact that Crichton does sort of like say, "Listen, we are not to judge him. I'm not human. You are. You know, it's but and that kind of doesn't save him as well. So, and it does kind of lead to Lister sort of regretting breaking his programming now, because Crichton has to die in order for them to beat the Inquisitor, and Crichton's broken his program, and he's because of Lister, and he can feel fear now. He's like in denial. He's like shaking his legs, saying, "I believe in Silicon Heaven. I'm not scared of dying." It's so tragic and so funny at the same time, and I love the Inquisitor as a villain. He does present a very good threat, and
this episode kept me guessing all the way up to the end, actually.
Yeah, and I love
I didn't work this one out in advance how they were going to win. So yeah,
I know, and there is something he kind of understand his motive as well. You know,
I've as psychopathic as it sounds, I'd love to be the Inquisitor. Going through time, trashing people would be fucking fantastic. Imagine we take out all the evil people.
We all have those little fantasies. It's part of human nature. But once again, I love the philosophy. I mean, who does decide what a fulfilling life is? I mean, what's fulfilling in life is
it's like morality, isn't it? It's subjective.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, I love, and once again, we get some great funny moments where Lister has to use the dismembered hand of the alternate Lister, and when
logically, there's only one way you could have opened that door.
It's like, get it in your seconds. I love that. One of the other funny moments is
I can give you 15.
Yeah. One of the other funny moments is where Crichton goes, sometimes a fulfilling life is just by making a little contribution. And Rimmer's like, oh, God, sometimes even the smallest contribution. And Rimmer's like, oh, God, you're doing this on purpose. It's like, what the hell? Not you didn't even throw £1 to a homeless guy once, Rimmer. It's like, what?
And you got Lister, he's like, I used to go scrumping. He's like, I really go scrumping for apples, sir. That's fine. I went scrumping for cars.
Oh, fucking chat's really blowing up a little bit more now. Moderately, of course. But
busy.
Yeah, they do try and make him a little bit more like characters in season 8 as well, don't they? Which are kind of one of the few positives on that season.
Oh, the Scuts in season 8. Yeah, it's quite funny. Yeah, season 8's got some big problems. But there's still, I still maintain there's good moments in even season 8. It's not going to hit anybody's top 5 seasons or anything like that ever. But there's still some good moments, and there's still some very funny moments in it, in my opinion. It's just I think for one thing it was it 8 episodes that season?
I know that was more episodes than usual, and I
Yeah.
did like the fact that we were seeing a little bit more of Lister and Rimmer having a little banter in the cells. I mean, those were kind
that
of
was great, wasn't it? Yeah.
It felt like old
just
school
those
Red Dwarf.
two. Yeah. But there was some, like, you had a 3-part episode with the dinosaur that went on too long and stuff. And,
Yeah, we had the 3-part episode of the first 3 of the opening.
Even back then, there was some clever episodes. Cassandra was a very clever episode, I thought.
I know, I like that
with
as well.
Gobby Wanamaker as the AI that can predict the future. That was a great episode. I can love that one.
Yeah, no, she had a real sense of mystery in that episode as well, and it's.
Yeah, some of it works, but I mean, it's not. Put it this way: none of my episodes are going to be from season 8. Even if I wasn't doing just one per season, none of them would be from series 8, and none of them would. So yeah, there's only one season of Red Dwarf that I disown, and that is Back to Earth. That's it.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
season 8 when they're back on the ship and all the crew's alive. I don't think I've even ever watched all of that. Is that the one?
Yeah, that's where they go back. They go back to Red Dwarf, and basically they get landed in jail. And the entire them in jail.
Couldn't get into that. Couldn't.
It was okay, but I mean, it's not. It's gonna be right near the bottom.
Yeah.
In fact, probably is. I'd have to watch them all again, to be honest.
I did like Mr. Ackerman as well. What's his name? Graham McTavish. He's very fucking funny in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like inspection. Oh,
yeah. My date says that my eye is my most lovely lovely
feature.
Lovely feature.
Already half lovely. I love Graham McTavish. Dude is fucking funny.
It was nice to see the captain come back as well. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I did think they made him a little bit more comical, and I kind of preferred him when he was a bit more serious. But that's my take on season 8, and we probably will get into that more once.
We should do a stream per season.
Yeah, we do a stream on each season one day. So yeah, so my other pick was the Inquisitor. I've mentioned that. Does anyone else have this on their list?
Nope.
Anyone?
Great episode, but it's not on my list.
Okay, Fandad, you've already mentioned yours as well. So yeah, we'll move on from there. Teague, what's your next pick?
Okay, so my next one would have been Queeg, right? So we covered that one. And then the next one on my list, and remember, this is a cloud of like 30 episodes I got to see, so I had to pick 5 of them. I thought that all of them were great, but the pure preposterous nature, and I don't know how much there is to debate about it, but I just thought Backwards was funny.
Yeah,
Backwards was
honorable mention for me as well, but yeah, it is such a good one. Let me get it up here.
Backwards
we walk away from the heavy satire and the snark to just be preposterous. I mean, it's funny to say this about a show that's a comedy that's always fun, but we have fun. Like, we're not messing around with Asimovian or Arthur C. Clarke ideas anymore. It's just like, oh, this stupid fucking planet where everything goes backwards and people are like, what the hell happens in the bathroom in this world? Like, wait, I don't want to know. And it was so much fun. I was immersed in their silly backwards world and the people speaking backwards, and how that was the only place ever that Rimmer fit in. So he wanted to, of course, stay, and they had to do a little bit of co-opting to get him to leave. And we have, of course, seen that reused in Star Trek with people who have like hidden among a primitive society with a little bit of future tech. And so I thought it was just really touched on the good sci-fi villain trope. So that didn't wade heavily into it, but it was still relevant to modern sci-fi, but lighter stuff. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with that one. That was a great episode. Backwards is one of my top 5. It's my.
Do you know the Teague? Do you know the story? You know when Rimmer and Crichton get fired from their show for starting the fight, and their manager, the owner of the pub, says all that stuff in backwards.
Oh yes.
You know what it says if you play it forwards.
What does he say?
We're saying it here. Where? He said, "You are a stupid, square-headed, bald git, aren't you? I'm pointing at you. But I'm not actually addressing you. I'm addressing the one prat in the entire country who's bothered to get hold of this recording, turn it around, and actually work out the rubbish that I'm saying. What a poor sad life he's got. It's like...
Good for him. Don't Iron Maiden do the exact same thing about the same year on Peace of Mind, where there's a backwards segment of a record chastising you for playing your record backwards, saying, you're going to damage your Iron Maiden record, and that's good for us, but maybe don't do it. You'll have to buy another one, This is a good record. We have faith in it. Like, don't play this part backwards.
It's such a good setup as well, because you could just, like you said, it can just be so ridiculous. You can have a barroom brawl that just goes backwards, where so has all these injuries.
Have your tooth back.
You start to find out why he's got those injuries now, because he needs to get into this fight, otherwise he won't recover.
It's just
and everyone lives life like Benjamin Button. You start out an old man and you move backwards into a baby. I love it was sheerly preposterous. In this one they did wade around into more serious themes, but it wasn't satirizing those themes. It was just about having fun in the closest thing this show has to what you'd consider a bottle episode, going to the set of another show that happens to have a pub in it.
Well, it was like a Star Trek episode, wasn't it? You can almost imagine an away team beaming down to a planet where everything's running backwards. And like Star Trek's done all sorts of timey-wimey stuff anyway, but it was very much like that, So,
they can go full on Star Trek at any moment. Read the
book and read the bit where Cat loses his virginity.
I can't wait. Honestly, they can go full-blown Star Trek a lot of the time because they've got it in their DNA. And like I said, they make outright Star Trek jokes in the show. So they're very aware of what their audience is watching and what they're watching and satirizing. And this satirized a lot of episodes great. Backwards was fun. And it was every cheap planet that was just a near Earth, although that's every time we go to a planet on Red Dwarf too. But still, point well taken anyway. It's the first time they did it.
Yeah, and I like the little bond where Lister has with Cat as well, because they are connected in a way, because he's kind of descended from his pet cat from years ago. So we start to see a little bit of they've kind of got a good dynamic when Rimmer and Crichton out there. But
it's the way to split the two up, isn't it?
I know.
If you're going to split the team, and I don't know if it actually happens at any other stage, but if you're going to split the team, that's the way to do it, isn't it? Lister and Cat and
I want to know one day if we make contact with the two different factions of cats that left the ship, like the Romulans and the Vulcans, seeking wisdom and rage. That was great. That story told by the cat cleric was hilarious.
In the last TV special they did, The Promised Land, they meet one of the faction of cats.
That's the thing about this show that I like. They do keep track of what's going on, and the show has like a memory.
They set
it's
things
not
up
critical.
Later, it's great. Yeah, they set things up, come back to them later. I mean, there's episodes in the later seasons where Rimmer's brother turns up, Frank, and you find out stuff about him that's not exactly what you thought it was. It's great.
A strength of the show in general is I could parachute any given person into this show after seeing just episodes 1 and 2. I could throw any episode from any season at you, and you'd be able to make enough mental corrections to understand. Take it from me, I just did it. I jumped from season to season. I got all of season 1, which just brilliant stuff, and then a smattering of the rest of it, like 3 to 5 episodes. Sometimes I got a whole season, but not a lot. It was great stuff to watch. I loved it.
Yeah. No, Red Dwarf, it's right up there. Red Dwarf, Blackadder, both of those, just absolute.
If I had to take one TV show to a desert island, it would have to be this one.
Probably
because I could just watch it every day, all day. And I grew up with like Monty Python and Faulty Towers, the two Ronnies, the young ones, Blackadder, et al. Right up until recently, one of my favourite shows that I've watched all 9 series about 10 times, which is Peep Show.
That's a good show.
Out of all of those things, I think, and Father Ted as well, which I used to watch.
I fucking love
on the daily.
Honestly, any of the Linhan Black
Father Ted.
Just brilliant.
Father Ted's influence has crossed the Atlantic. That is a revered show in America, or at least in the Northeast part.
Absolutely.
We love Father Ted. I can tell you about most episodes. Oh man, when that comes on our local public TV station, everyone watches it, and everyone's got a recording of it somewhere.
We'll have to do the same with that then, Luke.
I'll happily do a Father Ted stream one day, because it's just one of those shows where you can just barely any episode is bad. Barely any episode. I can't think of a bad episode of Father Ted.
No real
Well, not only that, but Father Jack is my aspiration for my retirement plan. When everything else goes wrong, I'm just going to join the church and get sent to girls drink.
Arse.
And he's dead
on the island.
Okay, so
it's like Father Jack's the only one there who's a success. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. So you've said, have you said everything about Backwards, or is there any more you want to add anyway?
No, thank you. It was a wonderfully fun comic episode. And like I said, like for a comedy show to have stakes, this one usually does. It didn't really sort of have them in this time, but the stakes were let's amuse people and get a good bunch of good comic ideas. They lean hard into their cast's talent. I loved this one. I loved Backwards.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah.
Okay, has anyone else got Backwards on their list?
Nope, that is not my choice for season 3.
Yeah, definitely honorable. Okay, so
Can I give you
pick?
Yep, my season 2 one's already been taken. That was Queeg. My season 3 pick for best episode is Marooned.
Oh,
Marooned. Yeah, that's a good little bottle episode, isn't it? Really,
it's so much work done with Lister and Rimmer on this episode. It's really good, really, really good. And
you had to hit Lister
oh, it's so good. But you get to find out loads about Rimmer when he's trying to keep Lister from freezing to death. You've got the line about the dog food. It's so well done, and it forces Lister and Rimmer to be on their own again, which hasn't happened for quite a while. And Marooned is just absolute fucking genius. I love it.
Yeah, I like it. Rimmer says, we got some pot noodle and a dog food. And Lister's like, we all know we're eating last, don't we? Can't stand pot noodles.
Yeah.
Now I know why dogs lick the testicles.
Yeah, to take away the taste of the food. Yeah,
we also get hints of Rimmer's very, not very honest sex life. He's just, he's obviously fucking lying as well, just to sort of save face.
Yeah. But you've got the golf course story. He's just 12. 12. You can't remember the golf course. It's great. Yeah, it's just between these two characters, and it just puts them back together. And you get some really, really, really good material. And they're burning the books, and then they burn Rimmer's cash because he's got 16 grand saved away or something like that.
Yeah, probably the only bit of money that's left on Earth as well. The only bit of Earth money that's existing as well.
Yeah. And then Rimmer tries to get him to burn his guitar, and he doesn't want to. And then he's like, can I play one last song? And it's so awful that Rimmer goes outside. And then Lister goes and cuts a guitar out of Rimmer's prize camphor wood chest. And then he comes back in, and then Rimmer's just like, camphor wood? Your guitar was made of camphor wood. The soldiers, burn them all. It's great. It's really great. You find out Rimmer is the descendant of Alexander the Great.
Yeah, he was a chief eunuch. Fucking chief eunuch.
Yeah,
that's recurring with him, right? He has all the seeds and provenance to be a great man, but he managed to outthink himself, and it was what we Americans call paralysis through analysis.
Yeah, well, that's his whole thing with the that's why he keeps failing exams, because he'd spend 8 weeks making a chart to prepare for an exam, and then only have like 1 week left to spend.
Right, 7/8 of his time was spent on either his quick hack to learn it all scheme or his cheating scheme. If he had put all the time into learning, who knows?
If you just
he's still dumb.
Yeah,
but he might have gone up to second class technique, like cleaning.
Exactly. Yeah, he could have been something. Marooned, just a great bottle episode. They crash, they talk, they find out about each other. We find out about the characters. We find out about their dynamic. some mutual respect between them and that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's my pick for season 3. I love Marooned. It's a brilliant episode.
Thank you. So yeah, so nothing else to add to that then. It sounds like you've made your points there. Kit, so is Marooned on anyone else's list?
Well, every single episode's on my list. So
yeah, as I say, I literally couldn't pick 5 favorites. So if you came back to me another time, these might all change.
This is a warm up to the proper streams we have anyway, just to sort of like get the ball rolling on it a bit. So.
Oh yeah, man, it's fun to talk about this stuff, isn't it?
Can I give a fun fact?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Go ahead.
Can I give a fun fact before I have to bounce, really, because I've got family around that I promised.
That's no problem.
Don't forget to take the wig off before you go out there, because
breaking the life out. Smoke me a kipper. You probably know this anyway, but all 4 of the main cast, their real life names are all their first and second names are all first names. So you've got Craig Charles, Danny.
I've never thought about it.
Hills, Robert Llewellyn, and who's the one? Chris Barry. They're all first names, but they're first and second names. Ta-da! Amazing. That's amazing.
What a guy.
What a guy. But anyway, guys, I love you all. Smoke me a kipper. I will be back for breakfast, but I do have to bounce to another dimension. So.
Dum 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 dum. Enjoy your weekend, man. Enjoy your weekend.
Everybody enjoy. I'll see you soon.
Have a good day. See you later.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Okay, so back up to the top now. So let's have a look. What else have I picked? I've done Dimension Jump. I've done Inquisitor. Better Than Life. And here we go. The Gunman of the Apocalypse, season 6. Let's get this up. And once again, it kind of just more of a fun episode as well. We get to come across these like simulants who they basically rendered them unconscious and upgraded the ship to be a little battle shuttle for them, and they even improved the squeak on the on the chair tilts as well.
That's one thing that people don't actually understand about Red Dwarf. Is in the universe of Red Dwarf, there are no aliens. None.
Yeah, because it's always like something that was like a genetic
a simulant or a genetically engineered life form or a mutant or something like that. There are no aliens. There is nothing out there. It's just you and me and a bunch of smegging rocks.
I know, and this is also where we get a nice setup with the AR machine as well, and Lissa uses it to have sex with fucking slutty pals and that. But once again, it just shows and then once the simulants inject this virus into their computers before they get blown to smithereens, Crichton has to sort of like go unconscious to try and combat it. But
it's the apocalypse.
Then they see on the monitors that it's a Wild West scenario, and there's this sheriff who's drunk and he's getting defeated by the actual virus itself in the form of these 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And once again, it's a very fun episode as well, where the dwarf crew get to be cowboys. They get to be these cool characters. Rimmer gets to be this badass hand-to-hand kind of guy who's about
Dan McGrew, I want to say.
Yeah,
I think it's Dangerous Dan McGrew. And
and he's about as wild west fucking yuppie because he orders like dry white wine and Perrier, doesn't he, at the salon? It's like.
Yeah. What westerns have you watched? Bush Cassidy and the Yuppie.
Yeah, Cats is really cool. Fucking like, what's it? El Mariachi guy who can shoot bullets out of the air. It's like it's awesome.
The Riviera Kid.
Yeah, the Kid. Cat looks fucking awesome in that game. He's rocking it. He's pulling it off.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, anything where any dancing or anything like that's required, Danny John Jules is just all over it.
Yeah, and we also get the Vindalooians as well. One of the probably most memorable moments where All you have to do is just put fucking Crichton's eyeball on the chin and just film him upside down. It's like,
I am Takadol. We hate
Yeah.
humans. That's right, Bindi Badgie.
well, it's just a fun episode. It's not really
Yeah.
anything like too philosophical or
No.
deep, but it's just it just gets to see the crew sort of do something a little bit outside of their.
As I say, this is the one that won them loads of awards. If I remember correctly, they got at least an Emmy for it. And it's a great episode because all of their character dynamics are in by now. We know exactly what everybody's going to do. They all do what they're supposed to do. But the bit where they lose their powers is so funny.
Yeah, and Rimmer tries to sort of like get his way out of it again, doesn't he?
That false bravado, you just see it leave his face. It's just, oh yeah.
Yeah, he tries to clap his way out and he just does his little fucking dance as well. It's like, it's a computer program, mate. I don't think you need to spare the embarrassment. But I love the fact it all renders on Crichton as well because they eventually do get him back on there as well. It's and there's not really much else I can say. It's a fun episode.
It's great. Yeah. This is the one that I think what I would say with this one is if there was anybody who had never seen Red Dwarf and you were just going to show them one episode, this would probably be the episode, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Episode that I would show them, just because it's got that Western slant to it. It's quite identifiable, but again, it's very much like Star Trek, and Star Trek: Next Generation did episodes in the Wild West. Fistful of Dates.
I know they did loads, didn't they? They did like 1930s Prohibition, gangster era, something.
Loads of stuff. So it was great. Yeah, just a great episode. Great pick. I figured this would be on yours. If I'd gone to 6 seasons, it probably would have been on mine, but I did also at the same time figure that it'd be on most people's lists, so I didn't pick it on purpose, kind of thing. So I probably
sorry. Also, this one is when they do Star Trek style satire, they really are good at it.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, hands down. So yeah, that's my pick. Has anyone else got it on their list?
Nope. But again, if I'd gone to 6, then I don't know, man. Even 6 has got some great episodes. Legion, Sirens, Polymorph 2, Rimmerworld. Oh, Rimmerworld's so funny. Chinese Warrior. Grind those balls, sir. Grind them.
Even when the Rimmer is a god who creates life on the planet, is the L10 are back on him.
Exactly. He can't even in a place where a planet is populated by just him. They throw him in jail. I mean, as I say, there's so many good episodes. It is nigh on impossible to pick. But I mean, Gunman Apocalypse, great episode. As I say, I'm 90% sure it won an Emmy or something like that. It's the one that got awards and things like that.
Yeah, I think it deserved it as well. I really do think so. And so, yes, since no one else has it on the list, I will go down to Admiral Teague, your next pick.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm here. No, next on my list might be a shocker. I don't know what season this is from. It might be as far as 3. I liked an episode called Camille.
4.
Yes, season 4. Let's get it on.
All right. So what happens is we find this crashed ship, and Crichton is compelled by an act of gallantry to go investigate it, and he meets this ideal woman on it, and he brings her back to the Red Dwarf. And while effecting the rescue, various members of the crew, including Rimmer and Lister, see ideal versions of themselves too. I forget if Holly sees an ideal version of themselves as well, but we get that whole thing where we confront ourselves again. And that's a kind of a constant in this show. Then we find out Camille is a Gelf, a genetically engineered life form who's created to sort of just be everyone's ideal dream girl. This is the episode with the salt vampire from season 1 of Star Trek, with the creature that sucks the salt out of people. I'm blanking on the name.
Mantrap.
Oh yeah, that was the polymorph. Yeah. Thankfully, the Gelf is a bit more nicer, a little bit more friendlier.
Also, the perfect mate from Star Trek: Next Generation with Frank Jansen in it.
And this is when I started to feel like Crichton reminds me a lot of Neelix. Why did they take this character and transpose him into Star Trek?
I was not a Neelix fan.
The voice is very similar to what Ethan Phillips goes for, and so are the mannerisms and the cloying and ingenuating nature of both characters.
Yeah, Camille's a great episode. It could have been. It
could have been
number 4, but it's not.
Yeah, she is very likable too. I mean, it's like when I found out.
I love the Casablanca stuff as well. It's
droid meets droid.
At the beginning, right the way through to the end, it's really well done. And the whole is this the one with the where Lister's teaching?
Yeah,
as well.
He's teaching him to lie as well. It's brilliant. He's a smig head.
It's entirely possible. I think there's a couple of like so-called sanctioning bodies which have classified as time goes by as like one of the most significant songs, if not in pop culture, in film at least, because it is so central to that movie. So we get that in. They like do some serious like homages to real filmmaking, and then they go right back to the parodying. But the parodying is done with like deadly seriousness, if not a lot of money.
Yeah, it's really it's a really well done episode. It's got some of the most funny, hilarious moments in it, but there's also quite a bit of heart to it, especially again revolving around Crichton, because he doesn't understand aesthetic attraction and stuff like that. He's just like, he's fallen in love with Camille for who she is. So when she does turn back to her normal amorphous green blob, that's right. It makes no difference to him. He still feels the same about her. So yeah.
We've got 2 Next Generation episodes intermingling there, with the one where Wesley meets the girl who's actually an ugly monster, and then we also have I'm trying to remember which one. There's a couple of Star Trek TNG episodes sort of mingling together in there where we are seeing what we want rather than what's actually there, and the pretty girl is actually an ugly monster. It's a recurring Star Trek trope, and they deal with it really well. And while not unapologetically Star Trek, it stays in its own meta and stuff like that. Part of the meta of the show is that this parody of Star Trek to a degree. Not like, I don't know why 2001 comes up so much, except that it's such a remarkable film, but they go back to that a lot.
Yes, it's great. I mean,
Star Trek parody.
It's not just a good comedy. This one it's good, or it's not just good sci-fi comedy. It's just good sci-fi. I think this one.
It is. It is.
There's something to it. So. I think this is. I think Camille was a great episode, and this could have been my pick. This could have been my pick for season 4, but it's not.
Yeah, it's the Man Trap and several other Star Trek episodes mixed together, and it's just it's a lot of fun. Any creature with even like the Cage, any creature with the power of hallucination and complete and total hallucination or camouflage, or whatever, that is always going to be great sci-fi.
Absolutely.
And it's Shallow Hal too, right? And of course,
it's
and it's that episode where Data dates that chick and then just deletes his feelings about her because he's able to do the reverse. Crichton programs in that it's okay to be attractive to a green amorphous blob, and if we made this today, we would be wondering what they're trying to say, but it's just simply done for camp and comedy and fun. And it translates well into our future because it's like, wow, if they had only known that this part of the episode would take on somewhat of a meaning of its own as well. And so, like at the end, he loses through his own gallantry, is freed of this hair clog of a date because she is just absolutely repulsive, as nice as she is.
Well, this is
kind of cute.
It's Lister's fault because Lister has given him the ability to lie.
Right, which is
therefore Crichton knows that to do the right thing is to lie to Camille, because then she has the best chance of a life. Because let's face it, her life is probably not going to be great. So even though it's not what he lies to her, and it's Lister who gives him the ability to do that. And then he says at the end, Lister says, "You're going to blame me for all this, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah, without you and your bananas and your, none of this would have been possible. You're a complete and total snaghead."
Yes, he is a snaghead, but remember,
I love that Lister is happy for the insult as well. It's like,
yeah,
you
you insulted me. This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. So it's
a touching episode. It really.
It really is. Yes, it's good. It's good. It's very good.
Crichton learned his humanity and his self-sacrifice and doing the right thing. He says, like at one point, he does say what he means. He says, "But if I do that, it's her best chance to be happy and to be her happiest self." Or something very close to that. So he has humanity, and he's picked this up by proxy through humans, through human art. So I thought it was sort of a hopeful statement in how there are certain universal statements that even Crichton, who I thought was maybe a bug of the computer, but still was able to understand. I didn't realize what exactly he was, but I was close enough. He's some sort of flawed man-made tech. But yeah, that was a great episode. And like, again, there's so much sci-fi and a lot of Philip K. Dick stuff, which these people seem to have read a lot of.
Yeah. What I would recommend you do is, if you can, seek out the episode that is just called Crichton. It's the first episode of season 2. And that will explain all of Crichton's origin, including how he killed his previous crew.
There's someone else in that episode as well, and he looks a little bit more. He's like a nanny. He's like a nanny in that first time you see him as well.
Oh wow! So if he did that to his crew, that means that he is his species version of Rimmer.
Basically, yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You know what? So the ship is just a magnet for smegheads.
He's got the same amount of neuroses. Crichton is a really, really funny episode as well. Oh, Miss Jane, you've not touched your soup.
Yeah, I know he's serving soup to fucking corpses.
The show's not there till we get Crichton. It's funny, there are episodes that are very iconic and memorable that are in people's top lists before Crichton, but the thing is, we would have loved to have Crichton to be part of some of those episodes, I think, and he really does. He comes out of nowhere like Worf on Deep Space Nine and just elevates everything.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Deep Space Nine started going Way the Warrior when Worf turned up. Crichton, it's a very funny episode, and he completes that dynamic, I think, of the boys from the Dwarf, as it were. Right, my pick for season 4. Yeah, season 4. Oh man, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's the best one. Oh man, it's so hard. That season 4, we're really talking premium Dwarf at this point. But you know what? I think I have got to pick White Hole.
Yeah, don't worry about Mish. Mish?
Yeah.
Would you like some toast?
She's already steaming. Yeah. I was going between DNA and White Hole there, but yeah, White Hole, just great. The trick shot on the planet, although it's not a trick shot, it's a fluke. The whole sequence where they I'd never seen anything quite like it, where they do the conversation, but there's different bits of the conversation.
Yeah, it kind of skips around, doesn't it? It's like
skips all over the place. So they have like the beginning of they have like the end of the conversation and the beginning and then the middle, and yeah, it's great. And then on top of that, I think it's got some of Hilly's best moments, especially when she's having a go at Rimmer.
Yeah,
because she turns it on. She's like, White Hole, intelligence diminished, blah 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 blah, and he turns it back on again. He's like off. And she's like, "You're a complete smeghead, aren't you, Rimmer? Why are you unable to grasp this very simple concept?" Great stuff. Talkie Toaster, that little fucking prick.
He's just like, so you're a waffle man.
White Hole, great episode. Maybe not as cerebral and everything as again, the whole idea of a white hole that's going to consume the ship and all that kind of stuff is again very Star Trek, even if the whole idea of playing pool with planets isn't. But yeah, White Hole, it's got some great material in there. Great material.
Yeah, keep talking. Won't be a second. I will be back with you very soon.
That's not sus at all. Plus, Hayridge rocks that short haircut, I think. So, very 80s new romantics. But yeah, Talkie Toaster. Have you seen this one, Teague?
I didn't get to see this one. This is a different look for the. Is this Hill?
Looks
different here. Yeah. But it's the progression of every time they can get Hill a little more into things, as well as they were trying to do with Hall. They're sort of making them a little more extant and sort of going the way of being its own hologram almost when it can.
So
They do a
what
little bit
happens
more with it.
is they have a way to make because it is still basically Holly at the end of the day, just sex swapped,
Right.
back to being a genius again. And they give her an IQ of 12,000. So she becomes a genius again, but they proportionately shorten her lifespan to 4.38 minutes.
Yeah, they have to.
You can get a lot done in that time if you're that smart.
Without her, otherwise the whole thing's just going to go in it. But yeah, it's not one of my favorite episodes, but once again, the toaster's fucking hilarious. Because,
oh man, the toaster is Lister's nemesis.
No, it's
literally.
Crayon's just basically resurrected him as well to cause more hell.
It's very unfulfilled, that toaster.
Yeah, the voice of the toaster is great. And yeah, again, it's quite a Star Trek-y episode. And I probably normally would have picked Camille, just like T, but I went to do something different and I went to extend the stream. So yeah, Whitehall, very much worth checking out. And it's just like, like even just from the thing where Lister's going to play pool, and everybody plays pool better when they've had a couple, so he has a couple of cans before he does it, and yeah, it's good stuff.
Plays fucking pool with planets. It's I can't make that up. And then you get to the end where it looks like Tam's going to start a heal or something like that. So everything that's happened won't have happened. So it gives Crichton the chance to just insult
lately go from
one last time before Tam gets corrected. Yeah. But yeah, so many good episodes. So is that all you? Is there any more you want to talk about Whitehall?
No, I think that'll do it for Whitehall, especially seeing as Teague hasn't seen it. I mean, there really are. I mean, how many Red Dwarf episodes are there that you would rate less than good or less than 3 stars? There's not many. There ain't many at all.
Like I said, I saw like maybe 2 dozen, maybe 2.5 dozen, and they were all of such close to equal quality. The only show I could think of, and it also exists in sort of a manic universe like this, where it's gone on this long, although it has a lot more episodes, is maybe South Park.
Yeah. And then South Park has the advantage that it can just flat out parody current events, which it does better than anything I've ever seen in my life.
Right, and the cast doesn't age.
Exhaustively make an episode like days before.
Oh yeah, they produce an episode the week it happens. I think.
I know.
And they've got
a lead more relevant, don't they? Just to make it more relevant.
Yeah, South Park is an American institution, and I will not hear otherwise. I think it is.
Have you seen the documentaries on when they're making it? Trey Parker was pretty much fucking suicidal whenever he has to make these episodes. It's like, what the hell? And he does it, and he's been doing it every year. Every year, him and Matt Stone have been doing this.
Yeah, there's the new series. There's a new series coming out real soon, I think. I can't be sure.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. I look forward to that.
They might be due. They really did a lot of. They made a big statement with that Pandaverse thing.
Yeah, that's great. Put the chicken in, make it gay.
Yeah, even the fucking cops like this trans woman with a mustache and everything. It's oh god.
It's
kind of weird though. The subplot with Randy and the fucking workers who started becoming these trillionaires. It's probably the funniest.
Only a handyman could get wealthy enough to live a life of leisure and not have to fix anything. But then what happens? That was great.
South Park is just it's brilliant. It really is.
These guys, I mean, they fucking know, don't they? These guys know to fucking take the piss out of both sides. I mean,
as I said, like nothing else.
They're around 28 years. Think about this guy somewhere. I don't know if I told this story here before, stop me, but somewhere in the world, someone's walking around in their island after living a stressful life of being a broker or like a software developer, deadlines, 19-hour days. It's a nightmare. He's a stranger to his children, but now he lives on this island. And he turns around, and on the other side of the beach is some guy sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, hi, you must be my neighbor." He's like, "Yeah, I bought the other side of the island." "What did you do?" It's like, "Oh, I was a software engineer." "What did you do?" "Oh, I wrote fart and dick jokes for the show South Park for 25 years, and now I retired here. And let me tell you, it was a dog eat dog." And like the first guy would just pull out a weapon and like out of sheer frustration. Somebody gets to do that now because for 25 years they've been successful and at the top of their game, and that is basically a full career. Like someone's like, "You're gonna need a new fart and dick guy joke guy next year, guys. I'm gonna finally pack it in. I'm getting that island I wanted." They've had enduring success.
Yeah, and as I say, it's earned. I mean, they are comedy geniuses. It is part of the zeitgeist, the cultural zeitgeist. It always will be. And yeah, I genuinely think South Park is an institution that needs to go straight up there, especially when you consider how unrepenting it is.
They've never had to apologize. Yeah, they've never given in to apologize in the least, so they've never had to give an extended apology or get hung up on apologies. They're just like, take it or leave it. You don't have to watch it.
Yeah, zero fucks, and they take the piss out.
Rachel Zegler really should take that advice because she's like trying to sue him now for some Snow White parody, and I'm like, fill your boots, love. I mean, everyone else has fucking tried and not succeeded.
Just for them representing themselves in court, because they would not take it seriously. She's not going to win, and if they lose, they'll get another lawyer to vacate the judgment and go for the real court.
I mean, they probably turn up in fucking mankinis or something stupid like that. Yeah, didn't they turn up to the MTV Music Awards absolutely coked off their tits in dresses?
Yeah, they did. I think one of them was wearing the same dress Jennifer Lopez was wearing at an event as well. So,
yeah, I think it was basketball's publicity, right? They were dressed for basketball.
Taco flavored kisses.
Yeah, all right, we're going on a bit of a tangent, but yeah, I will try and get that clip up though of Matt Stone and Trey Parker in those dresses. Give me a second. Bear with me. Matt Stone.
As you say, they've taken the piss out of everybody. I mean,
yeah, no, they were like, "Oh, it's so magical this event, and everything's just magical." Let's see if we can get it up. Where is it?
And on top of that, they're accomplished musicians as well. It's
oh yeah. I mean,
pretty fucking impressive, man.
Well, we'll do this little tangent, and then we'll get back to business.
Yeah. Well, we've only got one left each, haven't we? I think.
Yeah. So yeah. Let's get to the interview because their reactions are just so fucking good.
But they are absolutely off their faces.
Come on, where is it? Wait, here we go. Have I got it?
That looks like it.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Whoops.
This seems familiar.
Yeah.
Now, two of you are nominated for Best Song, Blame Canada.
Matt's not.
Yeah, I'm not.
We said we can't say anything about the dresses.
Nothing about the dresses.
No matter what they everyone go, say guys, anything. What about the dresses? Why the dresses? And we go, magical night tonight. Just all the shirts are out.
Is it why you're in the dress? It's just such a magical evening, and everyone, it's just spectacular. We just wanted to be a part of it all.
It's a night of magic.
Come on.
The only thing we could have done a little bit better is we could have put powdered sugar all over our noses. Would have been totally like you. I also remember actually then having to sit there in the actual Oscars, and you're coming down off the acid. So you're simultaneously coming down, and you're having to now sit through the Oscars, which suck. There were people that were like, "Dude, this is my big night. You." But that was the funniest thing to us. We're like, really? Like, this is bullshit. It's Hollywood. Like, let's rock, But we don't have any friends anymore. I wonder why.
So they didn't do cocaine. They dropped a lot of LSD. That is what a brilliant troll. Because that would be a terrible combination. I'm just trying to imagine cocaine and psychedelics at the same time. An accelerated hallucination. I don't know about that one.
Okay, now. Okay, let me get the screen back on. Give me a second. Stop.
That was a brilliant troll. They seem to have a better sense of time and place. For the I understand where they're coming from. Like you can even see that actor like this is my night, and they're like fuck off.
even on top of everything else, they don't take themselves seriously. That's why they're so successful with it.
Right? They would have no part of any institution that would consent to let them be a member.
Oh God, no.
I know.
I mean, was it Team America? Just
yeah, because they fucking just slammed everyone. I mean, but George Clooney and Matt Damon and was actually okay with it though.
Matt Damon was fine with it.
Baldwin also offered to voice his puppet, but and they were going to let him do it, but there was some sort of legal repercussion that they weren't allowed to let him do it for free as he wanted to, and also everyone else would have had to have been offered, and then they would have been able to set their own price, so they had to refuse him.
That shows Baldwin's got a hell of a more sense of humor than I thought he had.
Yeah, he used to be a little bit more fun, right? But you know what? In his new career, he got 2 people with his first shot, so who knows? I mean, showing promise already.
All right, this might be my last pick now. So yeah, Meltdown on season 4.
Man.
6,
Yeah.
and
I did see.
And I love this as well because they have this little time jump, little dimension thing.
Matter paddle.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and they end up getting transported to this planet where it seems like they're back in time, but it turns out it's just a theme park planet for wax androids in a way, and it's like different people, like real people from history. Some of the greatest, some of them are the worst, and even fictional characters as well. And this is where Rimmer gets to finally be this like tyrant a little bit as well. This
he gets to be his General Patton, doesn't he? Or I presume it's Patton.
That's the General Patton, and he just ends up fucking causing more problems. And he basically gets the entire population.
He wipes out the entire population.
And I just love I love some of the gags as well when Rimmer and Kat are in the prison, and he sees a prisoner being marched out to the firing squad, and is like, "It's Winnie the Pooh."
Yeah,
he's refusing a blindfold. And once again, show don't tell usually is my forte, but this is where telling makes it funnier. It's just there's just something about him describing that Winnie the Pooh is out in the firing squad refusing the blindfold and refusing a gunshot, and it's like no one should ever witness that. You also get the cat fucking talking back to Caligula, who then slaps Lister for some reason. Every time slaps Lister, and he's like, "Shut up."
Some of the best stuff is the stuff where Rimmer's doing his Full Metal Jacket on the new recruits.
You're a total bloody
St. Francis of Assisi, sir. There's only 2 types from Assisi: steers and queers. What are you, boy? And then Lister comes and he goes, "You got a nun doing push-ups in the yard." That's no nun, Lister. That's Lieutenant Colonel Mother Teresa. Don't eyeball me, Gandhi. Fucking brilliant.
It's sad not to love this one as well. I can't remember if the beginning had Rimmer talk about his game of Risk as well. Where
I think this is, I think this might be the one. Yeah, where he talks about his in great detail his game of Risk.
Yeah, and he's like, listen, this is not gripping me. I am unsmegging gripped.
I think the
he just doesn't stop. He keeps saying,
When he goes, you haven't let me finish the story. I could have picked up the dice and shoved them up his nose, and that would have been quite interesting, wouldn't it? And it's like, all right, finish the story. He's like, I rolled a 4 and a 6.
Yeah, let's get this on. This clip is just so good.
I love the bit where they teleport and they think they've escaped, and then Lister starts slagging off Hitler. And they're just in the chimney.
Fireplace,
Yeah, you know what? Hats off to the British for showing that the best way to get rid of a threat is to make it so ridiculous that no one will ever take it seriously again. Proper treatment of the world's greatest criminal. It was hilarious. I mean, they say he's not funny. No, they've made him into a joke. You know what? Historically, no, he's a great, bad, horrible villain. But as far as TV fodder, he's deservedly like Hitler's funny. He should
again be. In one of the later episodes, Teague. I think it's season 12. there's an episode where they find a facility that's tried to make all the most evil people in history nice. The evil out of them. And
Well, that's what the Mormons do in their sci-fi religion.
And Dave Lister and Hitler end up jamming on guitar.
Oh wow! Well, I would imagine Hitler plays lead, but you know what? The one with the Yahtzee planet, I would just say that is Star Trek as well. When they go to a planet where they've accidentally had one of their Starfleet people go off the reservation and lose their mind and take over this planet and turn them all into Yahtzees, and they've gone beyond the pale and become like super space Nazis, and there's no calming them down or dealing with them or reasoning with them. And they have to put up with them until they can stop them. That's basically all they can deal with.
Season 12, episode 1, Luke, Cured. It's absolutely fucking hilarious.
I'll check that out as well. Oh yeah, I forgot about Elvis in this episode as well.
Yeah.
He's hello everyone, John Wayne, even Doris Day. He just got so over the top in his Elvis impersonation. It's so brilliant.
I loved watching these episodes, by the way, as an American, where our accent is viewed as inherently hilarious. So, hats off to you guys for properly mocking it. It's fun.
Well, I know
we have just as much fun with your accent.
I mean, we've seen Family Guy sort of do the typical Lammy stereotype.
Yeah.
Oh, when they were the domestic chap, when they reversed the universes. Yeah. You know what?
Say English and say limey.
Well, I hope you appreciate that after I did my research for this, I spent all night working on my second language, English, because I only speak American. And it's the language barrier here can sometimes be different. And I don't want you to harbor any resentment or have it color your opinion of me.
Well, I appreciate all the time you spent putting those vowels back in.
And I hope that people can see it in the transcript. I'm working very hard. If you can't see it, but I'm using the force to reinsert the vowels that we very wisely remember. Admiral Teague is a much more recognizable name than Admiral Tagway. I'm sorry. What can I say? But that was a great episode.
Yeah, Meltdown.
Well.
Loads of fun.
And like I said, it's not a really complex one, but it's good to sort of see Rimmer just be this total fuck up again in his own very sort of self-important way. And once again, Lister shows to be the moral compass despite his very rough demeanor. He sees these wax models like they've broken through the programming now. They are self-aware, they are practically alive. And Rimmer is kind of just exploiting them for his own sort of self-satisfaction. And it's like I said, and that is my last pick. I mean, once again, these are not like the most greatest episodes ever. These are just ones I picked because it's so fucking hard picking all these episodes.
Next week, most of my episodes could have changed next week. They really
it's funny. My list overlapped with your top 5. The only one I had that you didn't have on there, I had it as a tie for number 5 between Me Too, which we spoke of, and Future Echoes, where they just trash every time travel trope and have so much fun with that ridiculous. Because time travel is some horse shit, and the thing is, no one wants a story that's true to the lore of what time travel would be, or a time dilation story, and no one enjoyed any of these stories that are supposed to have real life. It's an incredibly boring thing. We want, who walked out of Terminator 2, though? That's stories with time travel, as long as it's magical bullshit and we don't dwell on it for too long, those are fine. But looking at the same franchise, when Terminator starts expanding on the time travel, look how horrible or very fast it gets.
Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, it's like the Sega Genesis, but not as fun.
I know, it's got a Y in it for some reason. Why is there a Y in Genesis?
Time travel is one of those things that can make or break. And sometimes it can be done well and just keep you off kilter enough you're not really thinking about it too much. Because unfortunately, the second you start thinking about time travel, it all just fucking falls apart anyway.
Yeah, and so what they did was they made the stupidest time travel paradoxes they could, confronted them, dismissed them the way time travel usually does, but with some very nice jokes. Very on point. Basically, on that one, they spoke for the audience of every time travel film, scoffing at, questioning, and pointing to the incongruities of time travel while emerging from it in a pretty interesting way. We had great comedic fun with Rimmer doing everything backwards twice. once out of sequence
I mean,
to confuse Dave, and again in sequence. That was great.
That was
his
really,
comedy was great.
Clever as well. Really clever the way they did that.
Both of those guys are such great natural comic partners that I hope they do other work together. They should be hired as a team more often. I put them in, if I was filming like an episode of like say an American show like Law and Order in England, they would be my British contacts for my American cops. They'd show up and they'd be like, all right, well, something you better know, smegheads. It's like, oh, calm down now. I could just see them as like, because they are kind of like misfit cop partners in a way.
Yeah, the dynamic between them is the core of Red Dwarf, and it always will be. Just this ultra authoritarian, but at the same time completely useless sort of neurotic idiot versus this carefree, happy-go-lucky bum with, as Luke says quite accurately, a moral center. You think it's nothing, but Red Dwarf makes it something. It really does. It's one of my favorite TV series ever.
Yeah, I don't get why it gets called a cult classic. I mean, it's because it seems to have a really big fucking fan base, and maybe it was a cult classic when it was first coming out, but it seems to be more popular than ever.
Yeah, I think again it's an institution. It's an institution. Well, the thing is, the creators fell out. That's one thing. Secondly, Craig Charles went off the rails a little bit, had a bit of a cocaine.
Oh yeah, he had that fucking crack addiction some years back, didn't he?
And quite a few sort of allegations against him that they had to get out of the way, and it just derailed things a little bit. But I'm just grateful we got as much Red Dwarf as we did, and on top of that, that the new stuff we get, although not always brilliant, is still good enough that I can watch it and enjoy it. It's not like watching, there's so many things these days that we used to enjoy that have been completely fucking destroyed. Completely destroyed. And when a new version comes out,
when I watched The Promised Land not so long ago, I thought,
right.
they're still very true to the characters. They are walking it up. I mean, they're actually doing a good job about. They have not missed a beat.
Only one bad thing of Red Dwarf, in my opinion. As I said, I've said it again, Back to Earth. That was awful. But that was it. Yeah. That's the only thing. And out of 12 seasons of Red Dwarf, that's not bad. That's not bad. And 13 and 14, 13 was Promised Land, and 14 hopefully will be coming our way soon. So
because when I did start watching some of the new episodes after Back to Earth, I thought, okay, it's not as good as the other stuff, but it does look like they're trying this time.
Right, exactly. There's some genuinely funny laugh out loud bits. Yeah. I love the one where Lister is on hold for a stirring machine or something, and there's a battle going on around him and he won't hang up the phone. Just stupid British observations like that you don't want to lose your place in the queue and things like that. And I think he's trying to get through to the supervisor, and just these silly little things that only really British comedies can do. And again, when the Americans tried Red Dwarf, it was a fucking disaster because they just didn't get it. Unfortunately, they tried to make it too cool and this is not cool. It's the opposite of cool. That's the whole idea behind it. British inspired American Red Dwarf with a different name that was like deferential enough and paid like say a consulting fee but had its own identity. Possibly. American Red Dwarf, no. This humor is intrinsic to British people. Yeah, it really is. It's that self-depreciating kind of humor that does only work on this level, I think. If you're not an Anglophile like myself, as an American, if you don't have some taste for BBC comedies, if you don't like Monty Python and stuff like that, you're never going to watch this. Yeah, exactly. All of that. And thereby the cult nature, right? Because not even every Doctor Who fan is aware enough of this stuff unless they read Starlog to know there's something out there called Red Dwarf that sometimes is really brilliant. And also, like every single story we talked about, these guys read every single Philip K. Dick novel. There's a little bit of stuff in there from every Philip K. Dick novel. Back to Reality was very much in there, Clark's in there. It's all in there. You're right. When they did Back to Reality where they're all having a shared holodeck fantasy, for lack of a better term, and they wake up and they don't have their memories back and they're trying to figure out who they are, and it's all very much based on several Star Trek episodes. That is also, honestly, the heart of that plot
is the heart of the very brief story that both Total Recall movies have been made off of, that has nothing to do with anything past the fact there's a guy on Earth who tries to have a total recall.
Yeah.
The other two movies
We
just
can
go
sell
their
it
own
to
way
you-
from there.
Is it we can sell it to you wholesale?
Yes, is the name of the. We can remember it for you wholesale. Is
remember
the
it
name of
for
the
you
film,
wholesale,
K.
that's it,
Dick. But the
Yeah.
thing is, I guess, if you don't want this spoiled, I guess plug up your ears and sing for 1 second. Is in the book, they never leave the lab, and what happens is he does have his weird vacation, and when they try to bring him out of it, he starts talking nonsense, and then they give him more and more of the like sedative to try to keep him from being too nonsensical to be pulled out of his dream. And what happens is he babbles out some stuff about space aliens. He wakes up and they're like, "Oh, you think you suffered from a messiah complex that affected your total recall. You thought that you had saved the entire Earth." And he's like, "You mean you know about the aliens?" And they're like, "That's just an illusion." And the last sentence is, "Outside, distant explosions could be heard." Because the deal was, if he never told the world about the aliens, they wouldn't come back and destroy the Earth. But he found the aliens near death and he saved them.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, Red Dwarf deserves more respect as a sci-fi show than sometimes I think it gets. My last pick for season 5 is the only episode that I remember that's got a hand puppet in it. Mr. Flibble is very
Mr.
cross.
Flibble is very cross.
Quarantine, season 5, episode 4. Has got some of the best Rimmer stuff in it I have ever seen. Just when the screen comes up and Rimmer's standing there in a red and white gingham dress, it's just it's just fucking. I just lost it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's so
Warren's
British
3
about
hours
the show.
of WOO. What's WOO? You had to ask. Without oxygen. That'll teach you to be public bread baskets. So good. And the thing I love about it is it starts off with Rimmer having the the book. What the book's called now? What the fuck's the book called? Help me out.
Oh, I'm trying to think now.
Quite just keeps reading rules from.
Yeah, it's kind of like the guard book, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's
sort of
like a guidebook.
all the red tape and all that stuff. So
Yeah, and Rimmer,
manual, something like that.
it's some kind of man. Yeah. And Rimmer learns it and then throws it back at them in the most brilliant of ways, putting them in quarantine because they've been over to an infected ship, and they've got a board game like with 99% missing pieces, a jigsaw puzzle with like one piece in it, because he's supposed to provide minimum entertainment. And yeah, just take them to the very limit of like they're at each other's teeth. And when they finally end the quarantine, Rimmer's basically gone completely homicidal and mental. He's got a hand puppet that he calls Mr. Flibble, and he's got laser vision that he can destroy people with. And yeah, it's just brilliant.
Yeah, and you get the look virus as well, don't you? Where when
the virus
just happens, is like he knows the passcodes and is like, I wish we had something to do this kind of thing. And there's like, what about this here? And he's like, hey, what a stroke
of luck. I need to use that in my videos actually for when
Drinker used that as well.
Coincidence.
Drinker just used that as well. So in one of his videos.
Ah, sweet. Quarantine's it's fucking brilliant. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah, like, you're getting tetchy.
Yeah. Don't call me Tetchy. You know what happens when I call you Tetchy? I'm calling you now. Tetchy.
Yeah. And as if to twist the fucking knife, all the puzzles are fucking done and everything, and all of
all the crosswords are done in the puzzle book, and they've got a video on crocheting hats or something. So they cut forward and like Lister's wearing his hat while he's knitting another one, and Cat's got a black eye because something, and it's
you don't need to see how it happened as well. You get
exactly, that's it. You just know each other's throats, And the whole time, Rimmer's there, standing, watching them, wearing this red dress, just having gone completely off the rails. And then they finally escape, and that's Dr. Hildegard Landstrom, who's got the virus originally. It's great. Yeah, and I think I don't know if this is the one where it introduces the manual, I think it's the Space Corps manual or something like that, or Space Corps guide.
Yeah, Space Corps directive, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's one of my favourite uses of it because it comes up in so many different episodes. You know, summary dismissal for sniffing the lady's seat in the gym or something like that, and under no circumstances should an officer turn up for a meeting in a ginger toupee and stupid shit like that. But Chris Barry in this is just he's so good, so good.
Yeah.
That's my season 5 pick, Quarantine.
Yeah,
that's funny. One of the most British things about this show is I think from an American perspective, Lister would have been first listed star.
Yeah. I mean, he was younger than Chris Barry. I mean, none of them had really done a lot of TV. Chris Barry got TV off the back of this, like British Empire was a very long-running series. But none of them have. Danny John Jules acted in a couple of films, including Blade 2. But none of them have done much. Ray Charles did Robot Wars.
It's so uncommon to have not your antagonist, but what do you call him? Your non-hero, butt of the joke character leading the cast because, hey, he is that good. Let's give it to the guy. He's that good. But, your point of view character is usually your first listed star. So this guy, obviously, he does something to a degree that he's so good at it that they were able to flip the normal convention of what a TV show would be. Or, this is what you get when you have the BBC rather than what Americans would have, where honestly, this show unchanged on American TV did do fairly well. It didn't get enough showings. It wasn't shown in order. I don't think you had to go out of your way to find it, but it developed a cult following and people here are aware of it. And I knew what it was going in, but I would just say, yeah, again, the anti-hero, not the anti-hero, but the butt of the joke being the first listed cast member. That might be uniquely British. That person might have to take second billing in an American show. We would have redone the opening credits, which, by the way, gets done to this show a lot. There's like a whole bunch of different kinds of opening credits.
Yes, yeah. I mean, they souped up the music because it's a little bit mournful and slow, I suppose, at the beginning.
And because their end theme is a triumph.
So in the first series, it was just Lister painting the ship, and it has that sort of like 2001 sort of like
very it was
the ironic sort of thing.
And then they jazzed it up around about season 3. I think it was
they made it a bit more exciting as well. You saw little montages of the episode series, and it really just gave it a bit more personality.
And it was heading that way as well. It became more action-packed. It became more laugh-a-minute kind of Space Corps directives. All the things started to fit into place. It became less sitcom-y and more sci-fi kind of adventure comedy. So it makes sense.
That first theme song was a great theme song for the show as it went at that time because it was sort of putting both things that the show had together. It was a deeply serious, and for that show, let's face it, comically overly serious theme song.
Yeah. And you got the isolation as well, didn't you? You got the isolation, the feel of this great big spaceship in the middle of space.
And the image is preposterous. The guy's painting the ship with a roller, something that's like, discipline that like maybe when Chekhov got a little out of line with Spock had to happen. So it's preposterous. It's very, very funny. And you've got this darkly serious music that's appropriate to like a Dune type sci-fi movie. Yeah. And I think the deal is the end theme was just great. So then what we get is a compromise. And then finally what we get is the end theme becomes the beginning theme, at least from the American perspective. And what we get is something that seems like if we took Queen and had like a talented Queen cover band told to write your Queen-like song, it does sound a bit like instrumental Queen.
Yeah. There's some awesome,
but fun, very fun.
Yeah, it is. It's fun, and that theme has endured all the way through. Even to now.
RNTNZ. Thank you. You got an American to do it.
Yes, just let me read this super chat though. $5 New Zealand dollars. Thank you, RT and Z. Hail Luke, you've got an Admiral on deck. Interesting to hear an American reaction to this show from Admiral Teague, no less. Live long and prosper, you bastards.
I want Teague to watch the American pilot for Red Dwarf.
Yeah, the villain from the longest night.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Is it for modern audiences or is it just a whiffed attempt?
Oh no,
they
did this back in the 90s. This was back in the 90s. They basically Rob Grant and Doug Naylor got commissioned to try and bring the format to the US, and they did am I remembering correctly that Terry Farrell plays the cat? Luke,
I can't remember. I know the guy who played the villain in the Long Kiss Goodnight was playing Lister.
Yeah, which is totally wrong for a start.
Yeah,
he's
like this total fucking model-looking guy, isn't he?
Yeah, it's not Lister. He's meant to be a slob. He's meant to be a bum. He's not meant to be a hero. He was more like the Lister from Back to Reality in the alternate, when they play it right. Something's telling me that Terry Farrell was the cat.
Let's have a look.
Yep, Terry Farrell was the cat in Red Dwarf American version.
Unbelievable. Well, hopefully she had a very revealing Cats on Broadway sort of outfit, because I'd love to see that. Who is more lovely than Terry Farrell? Too bad it was in a wasted effort, because to have had 2 or 3 seasons of her jumping around in a cat suit, hey, and being sexy. That cat was very, very hyperactively sexy. So that kind of Terry Farrell is the one I want to meet.
And man, Terry Farrell, one of my major crushes. Deep Space Nine, Jesus. Yeah. Dax was hot. The oh man, it didn't work.
Yeah, because we've got different. It's hard to fucking say. I mean, it's like different rhythms as well when it comes.
Yeah,
to
some things translate, some things don't. I mean, even like the American Office is very different from the British Office. Very different, but for some reason they were able to make it work. Red Dwarf.
Yeah, because apparently with the 3rd season, the West sort of like going their own way now. The West sort of like recycling the British episodes, but changing it to American lingo. Was they with
something strange happened there at the end where they couldn't get enough people back. They let the wrong people write it for a while, and then they tried to end it out. If I remember, the triple plan was end it out as best we could by bringing back the British people and having them take over our American Dunder Mifflin. And so what happened was a couple of people from the British show, especially Gervais, come back. And because the way your TV and ours works, he might be in more episodes of the American The Office than he is in the show that inspires it. But he reprises his character, and he's just there to fire everyone because the show knew it was going off the air.
She was in the second American pilot, not the first one. They had 2 cracks at it, and they still couldn't get it right.
It's just not an American idea. I mean, Americans have contributed so much, and this is just 2 people separated by a common language. You need a lifetime of being a Britcom fan in America to understand this, and you have to really revel in the ironic British humor. And aside from that, though, no problems. Like, their show is funny, and their set is good enough.
Yeah, I mean,
some very talented people in the US version. It just doesn't work. That's the
it just doesn't work. I mean, part of the whole idea about Red Dwarf is that it's grimy, it's messy, it's crude. There's not meant to be anything kind of sophisticated about it at all, and it just didn't work. But yeah, Terry Farrell was the pilot.
It's a better world where we try to transplant a truly funny idea to America rather than like wokeify it, clean it up, and throw it out there for a modern audience. It's like, all right, the Americans tried it. It's not an American idea. It failed. At least it failed pure of heart, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. As I say, I mean, they had 2 goes at it, and then they just went, yeah, okay, hands up, it's not going to work. We'll have to just leave it,
Yeah, there's failing, and then there's dishonoring yourself, like Star Trek Discovery, where it's like they've been failing for 5-8 years, and their other shows fail too, and they're like, nope, this is a renaissance for Star Trek. It's like, have you seen your shows?
It is not a renaissance. It is not even, I don't even consider Discovery to be Star Trek.
The thing is, I don't think Americans need to remake our shows because I've got so many good ones already, and I don't want to see a British version of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I mean, that's
exactly.
It works because It's made by some very talented, funny Americans who have that kind of style that
The
works.
thing is, what makes Blackadder work and what makes Red Dwarf work is the fact that they're British. So I'm not sure why you will want to take that and go put American stuff in it, because it's like China, for example. Okay, so in China, Hollywood movies, like big dumb Hollywood movies like Fast and the Furious, make absolute bank. And the reason they make absolute bank is because the Chinese don't get them. The Chinese don't get to make those movies because they're not allowed, because they're, it's communist and all controlled and that kind of stuff. So then, when Hollywood tried to pander to China to try and make the films that would appeal to Chinese audiences and have all the Chinese stuff in them, they tanked, because that's not what fucking China wants. So in this example, surely America wants the British Red Dwarf, because that's why they fell in love with it in the first place. And I don't understand why you'd fall in love with something and then try and change it, which is why I don't understand why they're doing what the fuck they're doing to Star Trek. Because surely it worked originally. Why would you change it? And now it doesn't fucking work.
It's kind of the same with Japanese anime as well, because the Japanese have a very sort of specific sense of humour.
Yeah, and characterization and the way they tell stories and everything.
You know what? Later tonight, I'm going to host a big Star Trek watch party, but that's not why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because I do have a big Star Trek community for my channel. So I don't know if anybody's listening, but hey, Drinker Disparu, make videos about how bad Star Trek Discovery is and Star Trek and Strange New Worlds is going to be, because what Disparu said about it is right. You know why it's still succeeding and it's still on and it's still bad? It's because, in my personal opinion, it's been co-opted by Chinese communists. Why else are they selling this ramshackle, hateful view of the world? It is hateful stuff.
It's anti-Trek. Picard season 1 was anti-Trek, anti-fucking Trek, and now we've got Star Trek Academy coming. So basically,
Star Trek Strange New Worlds will do damage to and shrink the fandom, because it is, Disparu correctly pointed out, this is communism. They're peddling pure communism in this one.
Well, Star Trek Strange New Worlds has completely destroyed the character of Spock. He's a fucking moron now.
Yeah, I call that character
Spork. Autistic guy, didn't he? I mean, like, what? That's not his character. It's just that he's a guy who's comes from a race that are very good at suppressing their emotions when they need to. That's it. Yeah. They are totally unemotional.
Yeah.
It's
in new Star Trek.
But yeah,
in the newer Star Trek, emotions are by. I'm sorry. In the new Star Trek, emotions are by default much more emotional than humans, which is weird.
Yeah. It's all about feelings in hallways and dramatic, manipulative music to make you feel like you're meant to feel something, while at the same time it's
control their emotions.
Nothing.
That's why we need another season of Red Dwarf. Think of what they'll do to the Star Trek Discovery and shows like that. And did we see this from RRTNZ about Clem, our good friend Clem Fandango?
Yeah, I'm just about to read the super chat as well, because he just sent me another $5 New Zealand $5. So yeah, Star Trek Discovery was shit when they cast Clem Fandango as a Klingon in disguise. I'm like, did they really?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
someone else said that. Yeah, I've heard that to be true.
So
That's great. Yeah. It's, have we already gone through all our Red Wolf episodes? I know I have. I think
I've done 5. I could go on forever, mate, but I've done 5. So yeah.
Have you done
I've done 6. I'm up to 6. I did my 2 tied.
I've already done it. Yes, fucking hell.
Yeah, mine were parallel, backwards, Camille, future echoes, and me too.
Yes, so we have actually done it, but yeah, I think you're right as well. I think we do need more Red Dwarf than we do Star Trek right now, because
I mean,
they are actually still trying to explore some good ideas. I mean, like when they go back to the past where it's prohibition except with technology, not booze, because some aliens from the future were.
Oh, that's a funny episode.
Yeah. Well, the hookers are like saying all, the hookers are all saying this fucking science mumbo jumbo, aren't they? And it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. Some very clever ideas in Red Dwarf, there really is, and
it does look like
because it can be stupid and it can be absurd. It's not tied to things like Star Trek is. Star Trek is tied to that air of making sense and having to do something. Red Dwarf can just go off and do its own thing. Red Dwarf can just parody stuff and it can lampoon stuff, but at the same time, it can say things. And that's one of the things that makes it great. And I watch Red Dwarf. I'll even watch Back to Earth over any Star Trek that's been made in the last 10, 15 years, for sure.
Yeah, because even though it even though it falls on its ass, they are still trying there, aren't they? They do kind of look like they're trying to find their feet again, because it has been such a long time as well. I mean, it was like,
Well, this was after the Craig Charles thing, wasn't it? This is after
yeah, and plus it was like 10
did the
years
whole-
after Red Dwarf 8 ended as well, which
you know, exactly, yeah. So, you know, it had problems, but as I said, the difference is that when I get new Red Dwarf now and I watch it, I'm like, yeah, it's not the glory days, but you know what? That's pretty good. That was a funny episode. That made me laugh. I'm not like, this is fucking awful. They've destroyed everything I love. And not more than that, they've also destroyed the old shit for association. That hasn't happened with Red Dwarf. It just hasn't happened. So, yay for fucking Red Dwarf. Fuck Star Trek, I guess.
I know, it's a shame. It's such a shame as well, because Star Trek is like the go-to fucking sci-fi. It's like,
yeah, well, Star Trek used to make you think. Now Star Trek tells you what to think. And
that is exactly the essence of the problem, my friend. And it was said very wisely. I absolutely applaud that. I'd also say it's very harsh instruction as well. You know, if you look at older Star Trek, especially TOS, an episode like A Private Little War, it's clearly an analogy of Vietnam, and they say, "Oh, your bush wars on the Asiatic continent," and other stuff like that. And it's just at the end of that episode, the viewpoint of the show is so neutral that it doesn't matter who the Americans watching it were, whether it was your dad who was very much for the war or the hippie son who was against it. They could watch that episode of Star Trek, and it was different enough through the Klingons and the analogies and the other stuff that everybody could walk out of there without being in disagreement. The episode was for everybody. The story and the morality were for you to assess. They trusted you, in other words. They trusted. Yeah. In other words, they trusted you, and that was why I love and will always love Star Trek.
Yep, and it brought people together. Like, I'd watch it with my dad, and we'd discuss it afterwards. Yeah, we would actually discuss the episode.
It was way ahead of its time, especially in the 60s. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, they had Abraham Lincoln saying the N-word and apologising for it. And
that is one of the most Star Trek things ever in the history of that line where he calls a hero charming negress, and she says, "Why would I?" Because he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I know that term used to."
Yeah, why would I be
offended? Sir? We've moved beyond words. We've learned not to be offended by words.
Yeah, Savage Curtain
is moving beyond it, not giving people fucking pronoun lectures.
Yeah, you know, Savage Curtain is a late episode of Star Trek, and it's still doing great stuff just all over the place. Yeah, and I think to all of us who've seen bad, convenient, terrible stories written for a modern audience as the excuse where they say we need to apologize for the creator, if we had listened to Captain Picard and said this far and no farther, when they absolutely destroy Star Trek in 2009, all the misery of the world could have been spared.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say. Sorry, I get a little passionate about Star Trek.
Oh no, I'm with you, man. I've got another video about Star Trek in the works. I'm going to be reviewing Star Trek Continues soon, because that is good stuff.
Great. Yeah, I do a Star Trek watch party.
So yeah, you've just plugged in what your next thing is, and yeah,
exactly. That and the Thunderbolts video.
Plus,
I saw that.
Yeah, you saw Thunderbolts, yeah?
Yeah,
I'll have a look at Thunderbolts. I'm hearing kind of mixed things, which is kind of maybe a plus in.
It's the best Marvel film.
It does.
Free.
It does make sense, but it's because the story is extremely simple and stupid and repeats itself. And in fact, I would say, what do you think about this one, buddy? Insists on itself. They repeat things way too much. There's times when they repeat what's going on just to waste time. And the one thing I did hate the most was character Yelena Florence Pugh. Everyone does the same thing, but her version of this, and all characters talking the same voice, would walk in and be like, "I am Yelena. I give no fucks about you, Bucky Barnes of Brooklyn, New York, who fought in World War II, who is friends with Steve Rogers, Captain America, who is the Winter Soldier. You do not impress me with what you know about Wakanda." It's like, what the and that's through the whole movie. And he's like, "I'm not afraid of you, Russian lady who's a Black Widow." And that's the movie. And then this happens, and then that happens, and then this happens. It's terrible.
It's a mess. The first hour is terrible. I'd say the second hour has got some merit to it. I'll have a review.
Yeah, we're paying off a little bit with better action. At least this one didn't look like a high school superhero play the way Falcon Man did. Falcon Man looked like a high school superhero play. This came to be a real movie. It's just when they say it got good reviews in those Rotten Tomatoes, I'll use your pronunciation. Rotten Tomatoes reviews seem bought and paid for. I'm not buying it. There's no way that's 96% good. You're telling me that means it's better than Return of the Jedi. It's better than Revenge of the Sith.
It's a 6 out of 10 for me. It's not the worst thing I've seen, but it's
Why
better
wouldn't
than the slot we've got recently. So yeah.
The question I'm left with is Disney just go ahead.
We're going to be ending the show soon, all right? So because it is getting a little late now, and we've been going for like over 2.5 hours.
Are you about to turn into a pumpkin? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Plus, I need to get some sleep for tomorrow anyway. So, are you got anything?
The whiskey show, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got the whiskey show tomorrow with Below. Maybe we'll see what happens. Sometimes it can make it, sometimes it can't. But you've already plugged what you're doing anyway, Critical Al. So yeah, I just said that. And Admiral Teague, what have you got next that's coming up?
I kind of did plug it. I've got my Star Trek watch party tonight over on my channel, and I'll drop it into the private chat. And if you want, you could just drop it into the regular chat. And people, if they want to follow me, I promise to wake up crazy every day and provide you with a couple of live streams a week and a Star Trek show on Saturday nights that's better than anyone else's.
Yeah, see if we can copy this, and here we got copy link address, and just doing it now.
I don't think there is any saving.
You might be able to grab it out of the private chat. I threw it in there for you.
Yeah, I've done it. I've just copied it and pasting it now.
Thank you so much.
What time's your watch party?
Here we go.
It's at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the only time we can do it. Everybody's home from work and ready to go. But like the thing is, we're fired up and excited about Star Trek. We're finishing off Enterprise and getting ready by around the holidays to start the original series. So we're on our way.
Awesome.
It's been a fun time so far.
Did it chronologically then?
Yeah, thanks for joining.
We wanted to,
Yeah, so yeah, I'll check it. I'll try and check it out if I can. There's so much I need to fucking watch on YouTube as well, especially
and our time difference. Well, I was up all night watching Red Dwarf, but I thank you for that. That was a pleasure. It's all jumbled up in my head, but it was very funny stuff. Great stuff.
You can sort of like pick up one episode and not, be too strict on the continuity anyway.
Yeah, there's not too much of an over.
I know.
Episodes don't really flow.
They break a couple of their own rules. Like they say very firmly a bunch of times it can only be one hologram at a time, and then we just have 2 and 3.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining us, mate. Thanks for joining us, Admiral T.
It was my pleasure.
And RT, thanks for the super chats, 2 super chats, which was very generous of you. And Rob Sanderson, Fandad Menace as well. Thanks for joining me on the panel. Not B Ryan, always welcome. Who else? Rob Sanderson. David Wilson was there as well. Thanks for joining me there as too. And yeah, you've all been fucking lovely. The episode talking about
times, man. I love talking about Red Dwarf.
So much fun. It's so much fun talking about these episodes. It really is, and I can't wait to really start to delve in each season a bit more. And I'll let you. I'll update you on that later. So, so whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching, and do remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that bell in order to be notified. And please do the same for my panel. And right now, that's us done, and we are off to the pub. And thank you, and enjoy your weekend, and enjoy your bank holiday weekend if you're British like me.
Can I have spuds, please?
Spuds! Good choice. George's song. Listen very carefully. The question comes straight after.
Baked potato changed my life. Baked potato showed me the way. If you want to know what is wrong from right, you must listen to what potatoes say.
Don't be good, don't be bad.
Baked potato.
Don't be happy, don't be sad.
Thank you, baked potato. And if you want to have a better day, you must listen to what the baked potatoes say.
Don't be early, don't be late.
Thank you, baked potato.
Always eat what's on your plate.
Thank you, baked potato. And if you want to have a better day, you must listen to what the baked potato